completely wiped as Ghost is surprised his shoot to kill, something you wouldn't expect, but here comes Tempo.
Tempo, we
Nice
talked
nade.
about it. They love to just charge in through here. Grenades are going to start raining down next to them. Ghost is trying to run in, but it's going to be Cloud9 from that beautiful position. Hits the shots onto McCoy. Now a little bit more damage done. Uncivil loves to see this because it's more of Ghost just being torn apart in front of him. Buys him more time to survive.
Meanwhile, the other two boys from Shoot to Kill, Alo and Adam, trying to come down from Hacienda. They do have a high ground position that they can kind of oversee this. Looks like Tempo is going to pull off of this for now. They've been pushed away from the withering fire from Cloud9, so Ghost might be okay for right now. Uncivil going to try to make an escape.
Look at this, summoning his inner ninja, just trying to sneak away, being like, okay, Cloud9, just keep distracting them, please. I want to make back up with my friends. We're just going to go over here towards the north. Just leave everything alone.
Tempo Storm having to back off that fight. They can't push the ridge line just due to how much pressure is coming from that high ground. We talked about simplicity, overconfidence there as well. And here's GG Well Played. We wondered what they were going to be doing, but for Player One Esports and GG Well Played, they're in the same boat. The circle's already shrinking. They have to move a little bit further south into the zone. And with all the attention from the Sonics now going to Player One Esports, they're going to be able to get away.
Player One Esports has nowhere to go right now. Circle's already condensing back down. They were trying to make their run through here. GG Well Played forced them inside the Sonics. So now they're posted up, but they're not inside the safe zone as of yet. Sonics are still looking back over on that angle. You can see David's in a lot of trouble already next to a vehicle that's been burned out.
GG Well Played going to pull off of this fight, going to get into their vehicles, just try to rotate into the circle as Sonic's Tony V going to be landing a few shots underneath the car here on David X.
Taking the shots, there is the smoke back over there, but making an assumption on where he's going to be positioned at. I love this from Tony V. Check around him. He's in a dangerous spot. David's now outside in the blue. I got to say, it feels like Player One Esports hasn't been able to be in a safe zone for about 5 minutes at this point, so that means that's going to be a lot of meds they've had to burn through.
Yeah, it's not looking good here for David. He's just got the smoke to protect him. He's got a burning vehicle. The zone is doing damage, and it's now starting to chunk. The shots are landing. David is down. Player One Esports not feeling very good right now.
Just trying to spot out hands along this different angle. They don't want the points to go over towards the blue, but with this, you can see Crew, looks like they've got a little bit of company, and I'm unsure if they're aware of it. Yep, they've got E United right down below them. Taylor J's already been knocked. Cloud9 might also have a sight line back over here. I think that those rocks are going to protect, but every single time they step forward, it's going to be Sonics again taking the shots.
They need to finish this fight quickly, though, because they are very far outside of circle on the southern side, and they have Cloud9, Simplicity, everything in between them and safety right now. So they need to figure out what they want to do about E United. E United needs to decide if they want to pull off of this.
I mean, we have about 300 meters that both of these teams need to move. Circle's going to start collapsing down in about 15 seconds. They want to get a little bit of separation, but remember, Cloud9 off in the distance there. So, Crew going for a little bit of a rotation out and around. E United's having to try to get a little bit of a feel, figure out where everybody is at before they can try to make any form of movement.
This terrain is so difficult. It's very rocky, very mountain-like. All the way up and down, these players are going to try and get any level of sight lines, and it's going to be very difficult to get just clean fights.
There's still a... Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, look at what's going on in San Martin right now. We've got Simplicity and Overconfident that are already playing down towards the south, as well as Endemic. We have Lazarus that's posted up smack dab in the middle. Vicious Gaming up towards the northeast. We got GG Well Played that finally managed to make it inside the circle over in that same location, as well as THC. There are so many squads all posted up in different buildings. All depending on how these next rotations come into play, it's going to be very rough. 57 still alive at this stage.
Meanwhile, Simplicity still has that high ground. C9 has also worked themselves into a high ground position, trying to gatekeep Crew from coming in here. As you see, United still trying to make their way out. They're going to have to touch the blue a little bit. They are very, very low.
This is a symptom of that late rotation that they had to take. A lot of damage already coming through. Cloud9's just trying to hold them back, but really, E United has nowhere that they can go right now. Beautiful shot's going to go ahead and take down Pistola Time, but it's really the blue, but let's be honest, it's all these bullets that Lobes is shooting over that direction. I think that Dill Hero is also going to suffer the same fate.
Wow.
That's 2 points that really Cloud9 just can't get because of that hillside.
Unfortunate for United mostly, because they're not going to be able to get Dill Hero or Pistola Time up. Luckily, they're not giving those points up, but United does not have an easy transition in front of them. Taylor J is in a very nearly dead Murado as Geis is just out in the open running. Everyone can see where he's at. Pistola Time is finished off, but yeah, United is just scattered to the wind right now.
Now it's a little bit of that fight that we were talking about around San Martin. You can see Sonic's trying to crash into this. Spray's narrowly surviving right now. Adam is already down next to him. Landoon lines up a couple of shots. Spray managed to get the heal back over onto it, but it's all a peak battle back and forth, trying to get this flush back over on this angle, realizing it's a little bit too hectic for him. Gonna retreat back and try to go for the res onto his friend, maybe.
GG Well Played hears this going on, though, and they're going to start aggressing upon this as well through the city. You can see them making their way through the buildings as THC just has 2 remaining players up. They're also getting third party by another squad up on the hill.
Landoon knows exactly where Spray is at, prepping the grenade, gonna go ahead and toss it blind. It's gonna miss him making the rotation back over, so at least one res is gonna come out for this. Landoon does manage to make it over towards Tony V, but off in the distance, GG, well played, really wants to get involved in this. Charity just holding the angle.
I like the way that THC's been able to salvage this. It looked like they were on the ropes there for a minute. Sonic, same thing for them. They do get their res onto Tony V, finishes his med, and now it's a bit of a staring match across the road here. GG Well Played is playing that third-party factor. It's a kind of a jumble here, but they're all inside the zone. There's lots of complexity in the city. Crew is just trying to red zone. I believe that's Cloud9, trying to get any opening knock here to try and see if they can press.
Slowly trying to creep up this hillside, but Cloud9 already trying to get into a little bit of a defensive position. K-Mine spots him out. A little bit of information relayed back over towards his team, but look at Leda Mystery holding those two little dips back over there, providing some form of cover fire for this. That's a great strategy coming in. Grenades are starting to come through. Profi's taking a lot of damage, and you can see Cloud9 just has to keep retreating every single time Crew steps forward. K-Mine very aware. He's got multiple people surrounding him, trying to use the terrain to his advantage, but that's just allowing Crew to get closer. There we go. A beautiful spray coming through. K-Mine now starting to go for a little bit of a flank, realizing they might try to go for the res, but he is firmly surrounded. Spots out another one. That's going to be that going down. K-Mine starting to turn this around for Cloud9, slowly creeping forward. Can he spot out the next one? This is starting to turn very detrimental. Mystery now given the information on where K-Mine is at, but he is just holding this spot. He is the linchpin right now for Cloud9.
Mystery trying to keep this alive. He tried to go for the res, was not able to because K-Mine heard the footsteps from K-Mine coming on. Meanwhile, Leda trying to get a low side hill flank here. It's not going to be enough as K-Mine's going to finish him off, and that's going to be 4 kills for Cloud9.
Absolutely great performance under a clutch situation. Speaking of that, we've got Tempo Storm's Maluk. He's the last surviving member. Shoot to Kill has been doing a lot of damage to this squad, so he's just trying to survive. See any angles, but let's be honest, Maluk's still never afraid to fight anybody.
C9 did such a good job of allowing Crew to gain ground on them, forcing them to crest over the hill. I actually I was thinking about criticizing Cloud9 of giving up so much ground, but the way Crew had to press into them, they basically sucked them into the damage vortex and just destroyed them.
They also played it on the other side of the hill to keep from getting third party by Simplicity.
It was well played by Cloud9, absolutely.
Here we go, and Dimmick trying to take a couple of shots back over, but no, the happy campers still trying to make their way inside the circle. Wolf's down, but they don't want to waste the meds to go for the flush. Now, Mini Fridge Jr., the last member for Endemic, alive at this stage, and it is just sheer chaos around San Martin. Looking back over onto this angle, does hear Charity over there, gonna go for the nade back over towards this, gonna force him to move just a little bit more. Keep in mind, last member for Endemic hits a beautiful spray back over towards Charity. That buys him a little bit more space, but he's assuming that somebody has to be around from THC, but they're actually on the other side of the road right now.
Endemic has only had 2 players up for quite some time. They've been playing inside the city, trying to stay alive. Meanwhile, E-United's Geist in the same position now, but he has been already spotted out by the boys from Ghost, and they are swarming on this.
Ghost taking a measured approach on this. Not certain how many people are over there. Gets the tap. They're going to realize that's an instant down. That's going to allow them to move much faster. Keep in mind, Simplicity still has this high ground. That's why you see everybody just clinging to any buildings or any cover as they try to move through here. Simplicity can just look back down onto everybody in San Martin, and oh my lord, moving our way over to Hacienda. Everybody in San Martin has to leave.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I have to wonder, is Space Station prepared for the wave of players that is coming their way? They don't have any hard cover. They're going to be playing off a ridge line. Have to hope now that these guys take care of themselves before Space Station Gaming gets washed away.
Cloud9 sitting on 5 kills, a nice terrain piece, but they're going to have to leave it in just a second. On the other side of the hill, you can see where Simplicity is posted up at and see how much terrain they can see around them. Balak still needing to move a little bit further into safe zone, but these guys already got 3 kills of their own. It looks like they've already managed to carve out a section of San Martin. Cloud9 hearing the shots from Simplicity, slowly creeping up back behind this. If they spot out anybody, this could be absolutely huge. These guys always down to take a fight. The spray goes a little bit wild. That's going to reveal the position and the potential push. So, got to be very cautious. The blue is starting to make their way in right now. Cloud9 realizes, hey, this might not be the safest fight, but going to spot out Wooly, take a couple of shots. Now Profi's in a little bit of a dangerous spot.
Loeb's holding a great position on the outside, trying to make sure he has oversight over this, but the circle is pushing in. They have to start making a move here. They have so far to go. They have to cross the street still.
Overconfident also caught up inside of this. Profi climbed across the rocks, spots out Check Shooter, gonna step back down into it, but instead it's gonna get a couple of bullets to the face. K-Mine starting to make his way over here. There is a lot of fights happening. Keep in mind, Lynxie's back over there in the blue right now. Something's actually trying to get involved, throwing in a couple of grenades, but it's gonna be Overconfident, somehow managing to sneak in, get a little bit ahead. Loebs is running back down onto this. He's the last member up for Cloud9. Gonna get taken down by Overconfident. Just a beautiful reposition from them.
C9 wanted to get as many points as possible, and unfortunately K-Mine could not see through the smoke to try and flush out the remaining members of Simplicity. Overconfident got the zone, got the position, and wipes them off the map.
Keep in mind, Minifridge Jr. tried to involve himself inside that last fight. He knows that Overconfident is right next to him. Stab looks like he's trying to get a little bit of a feel, knows exactly where Minifridge Jr. is. Gonna go for a little bit safer of a nade off on a different angle. They don't know exact location. They just saw him step up, take a couple of shots, throw a grenade. He was just trying to buy a little bit more space, but he's going to have to push his way into 3 different people. But with this, Space Station Gaming lined up. Lazarus, we talked about these guys. They're actually stepping up, doing quite a bit of damage, but Player One Esports also getting involved on the other side.
Lazarus finally pushing in from Sam Martin. They saw Space Station Gaming. Space Station Gaming wasn't doing a very good job of holding out the city. They had no vision on what was going on, so Lazarus was able to sneak up right on top of them before they were even aware of it.
I love a little bit more aggression coming out from Lazarus. They're starting to get a little more comfortable. Minifridge Jr. finally got spotted out by everybody from Overconfident, so Lazarus firmly aware that they have a team right next to him, trying to go for a little bit better of a position. Space Station Gaming still playing this low side.
Luckily, it's Space Station Gaming. Now that Lazarus has come into contact with Overconfident, the downs come out. It's just a bit of a spray now. Stab is the last man. He's trying to hold on to this. Space Station Gaming choosing not to third party. Lazarus just looking to pick up points on the edge of the zone. They have to be aware, however, that Space Station Gaming is so close. This is precarious for Lazarus right now.
I absolutely love that. We've got everybody on this, looking on this angle, still also trying to make sure that they don't tunnel vision on it too hard. Space Station Gaming wants to get involved, but they really can't step up. Overconfident's trying to go for the chain reses right now, but Lazarus just doesn't have the angle or the information to execute yet.
Space Station Gaming really playing this extremely passively. I mean, they hear the shots coming out from Lazarus. They know Overconfident's there. I think they just like their position so much right here. But I don't know. I think it might have been a little bit too unaggressive.
They're inside the circle, that's true, but they don't necessarily know exactly where all these teams are starting to make their moves from. Nice spray coming out there. That's going to get one of the members down. D-Master finally realizing, okay, we've got to start getting a little bit more control of what's happening above us, but it's really Overconfident doing a ton, and D-Master's just going to walk right up into Lazarus and wipe them out. This is the aggression we wanted to see, but does he know that Overconfident's right here next to it? He's decided to bandage, and he's looking at another angle. Are they going to see him? The smokes are up.
Space Station waited way too long. It's only D-Master now. They have 3 men, and that's going to be a 1-to-1 fight, and D-Master cannot win it. And that's just the lack of confidence, I think, from Space Station to push over that ridge. Lazarus and Space Station both go out. Overconfident now has a trek.
6 kills, and they're starting to get control over a section of the circle. This is one of our NPLC teams, and they're absolutely showing up right now. Maluk, how are you still alive, man? He's been solo for so long.
I mean, he's just been hiding and ninja-ing his way into this new circle. He's surrounded by 2 remaining players from P1 Esports and VG, but meanwhile, Ghost looking really, really strong. 3 strong in the southeastern side of this circle.
A little bit of a split coming out from Player One Esports. You can see D-Streets holding back over here. Vicious Gaming, he hears the footsteps, trying to figure out how they're going to approach onto him. There are other members of Player One Esports alive, just not on an angle that they can necessarily protect him. So here comes a little bit of the push. A little bit of bullets coming back over VZ's way that didn't come from D-Treats. If he had actually stepped into that, D-Treats would have been able to instantly drop them and turn this into a 1v1.
Looking at the way Shoot to Kill set themselves up, they're nice and centered in the zone. I don't think they have a lot of firepower right now. They'll have to fight if they must, but they are going to get the zone once again. Now for Ghost, do they want to rotate south or try and wait and try and catch kills on the northern side?
And here it comes. D-Treat spots out one, trying to take the shots.
Nice.
Finally gets the spray back over towards VZ, but everybody's just bouncing around in these different little areas. So with this, Shuru's trying to advance just a little bit. D-Treats was thinking about throwing over a grenade, but now both of them firmly aware where they're at. It's going to be a spray coming out from D-Treats, but no, Shuru manages to get the down onto it. But during that, it's actually going to be his teammate that goes down.
That was a nice little play there from Shrew. Good aggression. This is kind of a complicated area inside that barn, but now it's Overconfident. They've slowly taken good control of this ridge. They have good vision, but they have Ghost watching and waiting. Frolicker lands a nice shot. 6 total kills for Overconfident.
See, Frolicker's kind of holding this front position. The rest of Ghost kind of coming up back behind it. Shoot to kill, smack dab in the middle of circle, but Overconfident has a lot of control over the circle right now. So it's going to be a lot of the damage squads that are trying to sneak their way in on this edge. It's going to be Shuru, Maluk, as well as Agila from Player One Esports. They're all going to have to try to find some type of path, but Ghost seems firmly aware over it. Maluk, kind of the furthest one out. He's listening for any type of information that would give it away. Does he spot out Shuru? I don't think that he did, but I think that that Shrew might have seen him, but Shrew doesn't want to take the shots just quite yet. Aguila also spots out Maluk. He is so lucky he's running between two different solos, but it's going to be Drassel that actually spots out Aguila. So with this, that pushes them up to 5 kills and continuing their slow creep, hunting all the solos.
Shoot to kill is, again, just getting as many points as they can. I like to set up here Shrew. He's got a line on to stab. He's the last man on his squad. Shrimsy now looking to support. The vault comes out. Shrew's wide in the open. He's looking for any potential options. He's running. He's going to try and get away. Will he be able to? No, it's going to be Stab taking him down.
And through all of that, somehow Maluk managed to survive. He just dropped down. Balak takes a lot of damage from Uncivil, who just pops up out of nowhere. But in that, Uncivil takes a lot of damage back as well. Drassel hits a great spray back over onto him. So now Frolicker down as well. Only one member alive, just Drassel alive for Ghost. Looking back over towards Overconfident, they're trying to push up this hillside. Adam from Shoot to Kill has an angle onto it, but it's very, very dangerous. Oh no, Maluk. He has been spotted out. Gonna try to hit the spray back over towards Shrimsy. Maluk takes a ton of damage though.
But this is going to take Overconfident's focus away from Ghost. Drassel might be able to get the res here on Balak. Unfortunately, Frolicker still going to be down as Uncivil slowly bleeding out as well. Overconfident, though, feeling really, really good in their high ground position.
Keep in mind, we are in the last circle. Everything's trying to condense down towards the center right now. Drassel's trying to get this res back over for it. Overconfident has control over the center. It's going to be Adam that actually pops up and takes down Rift and flushes him as well. So slowly and steadily, we can see Overconfident getting picked apart from different angles. Uncivil's trying to crawl forward, feed information back over towards Adam. Balak's still trying to use a little bit of smoke, getting a little bit more cover.
Great utility usage by Ghost. They do get the res. I gotta say, this is gonna be a close game. Adam is the X factor. However, he's prone in the smoke. He could find and flush. That is gonna be the absolute point of their gameplay right now. They want to get anything they can out of this round.
And so right now we have a 2v2v1. Adam smack dab in the middle. I think that they heard him moving around, trying to take a couple of sprays back into it, and Adam is just praying they don't look this direction, hoping that maybe Ghost will come up, provide some type of third party. Adam is just trying to get around rocks. Meanwhile, Balak is just perfectly fine listening to what's going on. Grenade's going to come through, and that drops us into a strong 2v2. Wow. Still condensing down, but I gotta say, Overconfident has the control position. Yep. Drassel taking a lot of damage, and this blue hurts. So they're slowly trying to creep their way forward. Overconfident has the angle. Balak has to drop back down, continue to crawl. Everybody's just going for a big battle, but it's gonna be Drassel that gets spotted out. And so with this, Overconfident, not overconfident at all, and gets themselves 10 kills.
Denies the points there at the end of Ghost. Unfortunate TK.
Yeah, we didn't see that. We didn't see that, boys. But what a great win from Overconfident. This is your NPL Contenders team, and they come in here on the first game on Miramar. 10 kills for those boys. And I mean, they just showed complete dominance coming out of the city, which is arguably probably one of the hardest places to play from.
Oh, without a doubt. They also had to cross the road given the position that they were at. Keep in mind, they were around where Cloud9 was fighting over with Simplicity. They were involved inside of that. It was just a run and gun situation with them all the way through.
I gotta say, the key to that victory there for Overconfident was probably Space Station Gaming. Yeah. You know, they didn't get aggressive in time. Yeah. They didn't have any idea that Overconfident was crossing the road and Lazarus was picking away at them. But ultimately, that's how PUBG goes, man. You use the advantages you have, and Overconfident secures a very nice win. Unfortunate ending for Ghost, but they still get that second place with a couple of kills to go along.
And that's so vital for Ghost. I really like to see the fact that we're starting to see Ghost in that top 5 a lot more regularly, picking up some of the kills. But I gotta say, I also love seeing an NPL Contenders team taking a round win here. It shows the fact that there is the life and can make relegations absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Overconfident did get fortunate in that they had that high ground position. They had that hill that they could work from while everything else kind of played out in front of them, but they played it just the way they needed to. I mean, they could have gotten in trouble a couple of times. I mean, they almost got in trouble from Maluk. They almost got in trouble from Shoot to Kill, but they still held strong and finished strong and got the win that they needed. Yeah, I mean, that's huge.
They played very well. I got to say, Overconfident, the way that they used that rock, they took that middle control very nicely in the end circle. Ghost, they had their own problems to work with. They did pick up Shoot to Kill at the end there as well. So I got to say, that was a nice game from Ghost, considering they were on the edge for the first part of the mid game. Overall, just a nice, solid game in a very difficult terrain area.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, once we saw San Martin being in that big factor inside of it, and all these teams had to leave, Ghost, you know they had that sigh of relief. Like, ha, so glad we didn't go over there. But let's also not count out Shoot to Kill. They managed to rack up a couple of kills, coming in 3rd place. And behind that, Tempo Storm and Vicious Gaming coming in 4th and 5th, respectively.
But look at Cloud9 as well, coming in 10th with 8 kills. I mean, once you saw the circle go away from them, Cloud9 said, okay, we're pretty much screwed here. Let's just try to get as many points as we can. And it worked out pretty well for them.
At the end of the day, Overconfidence secures the victory, and they are standing by with Rachel down on the stage.
Thank you guys so much. I'm back once again with Shrimzy, and I gotta say, I feel like our pre-match interviews are doing pretty good for the teams, because every person I talk to seems to end up on this stage right here at the end of a match. Now, you guys had a great game. Tell me, that played out beautifully, but you guys were on the run for most of it. Is that how you intended to play, or were you hoping to find some place to set up camp a little sooner?
I mean, we wanted to get circled, but that didn't work out. So we just rotated out, and everyone was fighting around us. So we just took the fights we needed to take, and it ended up working out well.
Now, when you say the fights you needed to take, those are the fights you need to just wipe out the enemy team. Are you picking those fights strategically? Are you trying to clear out left and right in any direction, or are you just looking for whoever pops up on your screen?
Well, we needed to clear our west because we knew someone came into our old spot, and we knew people needed to come off the hill. So we took the fight on the hill, and then we killed the guy that coming out of our warehouse, and then we just needed to push him to zone. So.
And tell me a little bit about how much kill feed watching you guys do. Were you aware of how many solos were still in that final circle?
We knew of one. We didn't know exactly how many. That's why Rift died in the bowl, because there was a solo laying in there, but it happens. It's just a game. And
are those more unpredictable moments than usual when you've got solos involved?
Of course. You never know where they're going to be.
Well, those last couple shots, last couple trades against Ghost. Anything you know particularly about Ghost when you're going up against them that you have to watch out for?
We just know they're really good at shooting, so we just needed to be careful, be good with our peaks, and we did.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play there, and you guys had a great run. So before we go, just give me a quick breakdown of who's doing what on your team and who you attribute this victory to.
Rift and Trevor do most of the calling. They work off each other really well, and me and Stab just frag.
Yes, you do. Well, thank you so much. Looking forward to having another one of these chats real soon. But for now, we got a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Hi.
Hey guys,
Hello.
welcome back. We got a guest here. We brought him in. I don't know if you know this guy. Who's this guy?
I don't know. Don't you know who I am?
Yeah.
You talked about me earlier in the show. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Best driver EU. If you don't know Froz has worked on a couple events with us. Has been around for a while. Most importantly, you're here with WTF right now.
Yeah.
You were here during the preseason with them, then you sort of let them fly on their own. Now
I mean, they needed some private space, so I gave them some space, but then I was like, no, I'm coming back.
Okay. So let's be real. Let's get real with this, Cameron.
Yeah.
WTF is happening with WTF, man.
No comment.
Okay, fair. Let me ask, will it be fixed by the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on it right now, so there's always going to be stuff you need to work on. Even if you're the best team in the league right now, you still have stuff you need to work on.
Okay.
We do know we have stuff to work on. We do know what the problem is, and we have been working on it right now.
Okay. Now, if you guys want to ask him some questions, you can get in the Twitch chat right now, #MPL on Twitter. So you watched the preseason. You saw all these teams. They sort of decided, should we go to Contenders or NPL? Now you're back. Is there a player in particular or a team that has stood out to you as just like impressive improvement?
I mean, there's a few actually, I'd say. Play-wise, I would say some of the stronger players that I've been seeing that been growing a lot lately. I would say it's something from Endemic. You got Lynxy from Simplicity, Alo from Shoot to Kill. And I mean, also, those are 3 teams that you should be looking out for.
This weekend, have you seen any Contenders guys that you're like, fair? Okay.
All right, I mean, I was quite surprised that both Reinvent and Mustache Dave didn't make it.
Yeah.
At the same time, White and Fate and Envious as well. Or
you know, it's one of those things, right? Seltzer asked Reinvent the second day, how do you not fall into the same trap? And they said, we're not worried about it. And then where are you guys at?
Then maybe they should have been worried about it.
Time. Maybe you should have.
Just saying.
So tough situation to find yourself in there. Let's go over and we got like 40 seconds.
Yeah, 40
Let's see what
seconds or so.
Twitter had to say or any questions in chat right now.
Well, you already stole the Twitter question from me, but
Which team has the most potential overall, do you think?
Overall, like
The long term, who's got the most overall potential?
shoot to kill.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm quite surprised they haven't get picked up by Orga.
That is also shocking. Well, Split 2's not far away.
No.
Yeah.
There's their chance. There's their chance. Pretty excited about that. We got relegations in 3 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's right around the corner, so time is running thin. We'll update our whiteboard as time goes on, guys, but thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Froz. Any last words you want to throw out there?
Thank you all for the support and watching all this, and yeah, that's me.
Game 2 is a memory, but let's not forget it yet, Cameron. Highlights.
Highlights, you heard it on the cast. Once the city and Patron stayed inside the 3rd and 4th circle, it was going to be really difficult for any team to get clean fights, and so it was all just dirty, dirty slaps.
Dirty slaps. Yeah.
Well, they were more than slaps. They were like full-on engagements and nades and guns and all that good stuff, but it was chaos all around the hilltops above and the mountain building, not the mountain, the city buildings below.
Sick fight by K-Mine that we saw there. Nice elimination. Jump over to Ghost. Drazzle tap, tap, taps. And it's not nice for Geist. He ends up dying out. Pentalol, uphill shot. Simplicity having a little bit of trouble in the early game. Started strong, but didn't go deep. Only got on 11th with 4 kills, unfortunately.
Lazarus here, caught between 2 separate squads. The D-Master makes a solo aggressive push to end their run.
But that's not the end of the story. He's the sole survivor, and then Overconfident says, hello, I'm going to visit you on my path to victory. Treats tries to hold the ground against a double vicious push. Gets one, but it ain't enough. Pre-fire and a prayer.
Oh, the door opened by Uncivil. I would have loved it if it worked, but unfortunately for them, fortunately for Ghost, Drassel was on point with his shots, keeping him and his teammate Balak into the top 2, but it is going to be Overconfident to come out with the victory here. 2v2 goes awry when Drassel downs Balak, and then one more frag is all that's needed for a 10-kill victory.
Overconfident, but underrated. These guys weren't even in contenders when the season launched. They got called up to fill an empty spot, and boy, are they proven that they deserved the nod from the get-go. That's what you do when you feel silted. You prove that everyone else made a mistake. Let's look at the map. Miramar, mirror match, game 1. What's the plane say?
It's a pretty good, decent plane. A little bit on the northern side. But for the most part, it's not going to be brutal for too many squads.
And it drops literally everybody as far as they can from the MPL circle. But you know what? We don't have to worry about it this time because it's going right smack in the middle. When I saw this, Cameron, I thought, what a great game for Cloud9. Yeah. But alas, it was not meant to be.
Yeah, you saw how early they moved, as they always do. They get a center circle, but this time it didn't work out. Perhaps they didn't go to center enough in the very beginning, but either way, they still picked up a good number of points, so their correction off of that is fine, but let's see what they do in the next Miramar match.
They found an okay spot, but they got caught in a 4-way dance party that did not work out in their favor. Let's take a look at the final fight as it starts to break down. Ghost and Overconfident had to have a face-off. There was a bit of kill stealing back and forth as we saw that last member of STK slow playing it in the smoke. But basically, the blue has the final say, makes Ghost move, and as they get exposed, it's just a 1-2 easy tap.
That's what happens when you get a circle like this and anything like this that comes out of a city. It's a lot of limited engagements, and so you just have to be able to hit your shot. Positioning isn't going to be as impactful map and terrain-wise here.
Honestly, the grenade that finished STK from Ghost kind of opened the door for Overconfident because they no longer had to worry about where that snake was they knew was in the smoke. They just took the rock, and from there they get to hold center circle. So a little bit of an MVP moment from Ghost helping out Overconfident take home the big win. 20 points puts Overconfident in a great position. They were in like 15th place or something like that before this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them moving into the top 4 after such an amazing game.
Well, look at Ghost, 13 points for themselves as well. Shoot to kill. All 3 of these top 3 squads are adjusting from a poor early game.
In the last one, though, we said top 4, all MPL, no big surprises. Little snooty snood response there. And then Overconfident comes in and says, hey, don't write out the contenders. These guys know how to stand and bang. They came in first and a contender team in 6th in that match. So they are by no means sleeping on this tournament.
Not at all, but
let's take a look at the overall standings right now. Cloud9 in first place with 24 points. Overconfident skyrockets in flight, baby, as they get to 2nd. United holding strong at 3, but Vicious, Ghost, Shoot to Kill, Space Station, they're all breathing down their neck. Only the top 6 spots pay, so it's no longer okay to just be on the left side of the bracket, Cameron.
You got to be on the upper left side, but I'm liking this look. Ghost and Shoot to Kill, as well as Overconfident, springboarded themselves up in Space Station and Endemic were both top 4 and are now outside of the money. We're halfway done, so things can still change, but for the teams on the right side, it needs to change now.
Don't write anyone out. Frost said it when he hung out with us earlier. Shoot to Kill's got one of the biggest upsides in the NPL. Will they bring that in the last 2 games? All right, time to talk about match 3, the last Miramar match of the day. Feature teams will be Vicious Gaming, E-United, Overconfident, and Cloud9. 2 teams that weren't even considered in the last match for feature are now in the top 4. But let's start out with one of them, Vicious Gaming. Cameron, talk to me about these guys.
Vicious, they are the growing fraggers. They've struggled a bit in NPL coming in as a newer team, but they know how to fight, and they showed it the last round. 15 points in 4th. If they can keep that up on this next Miramar game and then the Erangel afterwards, they can stay within the top spot. I want to see them go fast. I want to see them go aggressive. Told no prisoners.
What we saw in that barn fight sums them up. Imagine if there's 4 instead of 2. They fight best when their back's against the wall and they're watching it for each other. Next team we're going to keep an eye on is E-United. You know what? This is 2 featured in a row for them. I missed it. I missed the days when we would watch E-United. They've had a bit of a bad run here for a little while, but it seems like they've found their footing. Last match, they went out pretty early, but they pulled in a decent kill count to go along with it. So keep that in mind, this new style of play from them. Only 8 points off the top. Differential, by the way, cool new thing for us to keep a track on, is going to work. And I hope that they take this to the MPL next week.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. Their third-party style was inhibited by the city center. It's hard to get third-party on people that are in hard cover like that, but nonetheless, keep up the strategy. Overconfident. I mean, what else can you say about them? They coming in contenders, didn't even qualify in the very beginning, but they are in 2nd place, only 4 behind Cloud9. They are looking great. They aren't looking overconfident. They are looking just confident enough.
They're only 4 points off of the leaders. Remember how influential Cloud9 was during the last 2 days when they played. They did such a good job. Overconfident came in and said, you know what? You can't push us around. They had a good spot. They held it, and they held off a lot of really strong teams in there. Simplicity was pushing on them. Ghost was pushing on them, and they never even flinched. So I love this team. I love what they're bringing to the game. C9. Tell me a little bit more about these guys.
So C9, we already talked about how, or I talked about it at least, how it seems like they've found a new formula for success. It didn't work out last game.
Yep.
They did get a good number of points, though, that put them into the top. But let's see if they can get back onto that. It's what allowed them to get their victories yesterday in the qualification process and their first victory on the very first game today. They may not have done good last round, but they are still the team to beat.
Circles shift, and they had a great spot. Granted, it went very far from them, but the best teams rise up and win when they don't have the circle, not when they do. So no excuses, but they're still in first right now. They've got a long way to go today and have plenty of time to make up those points. Those are the featured teams as we go into our last mirror match of the day. We're going to head over to the caster desk where the French hens of PUBG, Porosaurus, Matchum, and WTF Moses are waiting to give us a tour of the desert.
Oh, hello, fellow kids. It is I, WTF Moses, Matchum and Poro. And we are ready, nearly ready, as I should say, to get into match number 3 here on Miramar. And for Cloud9, they got to be feeling good. It wasn't the round they wanted. They had a couple of points coming out of last game, but still sitting atop first place. Vicious Gaming coming in behind.
This is what I'm excited about. Vicious Gaming in the top 4. I really like to see the fact that they're starting to pull everything together a little bit more. They're starting to frag out, starting to push in a little bit more aggressive. That's kind of what I expected them from the start.
Absolutely, and this is another team that we've been waiting to play a little bit more on the aggressive side is E-United, currently sitting in that 3rd place position with 16 points. If they can turn one of these games into a win, it could be huge for them. That's the best analysis
That's
I can
some high-level analysis.
Look,
winning is beneficial, Paul.
All they need to do is get some more points, and then they'll move up the
all right, that one was well deserved. So here you go, C9. Let's talk about this. C9, they win the first game in crazy fashion, but then in the second game they come in 10th place, but with 8 kills. I mean, that's if you're going to try to take home this big $40,000 check That is the way to do it.
Well, if you want some more high-level analysis, it is time for a team to shoot some men and then win the game, which is the whole point of this, believe it or not, is winning the games and shooting the mans.
Shoot some men's.
Flick some heads. The plane is in the air, and we're going right to left through the Middle East, Poro.
Yep. I don't even know what to do at this point. I think cyberbullying, chat.
Moses,
somebody step in and help me.
I think you might have broken Poro.
I think I broke him, yeah.
I might be broken.
It's okay. We still love you. It'll be fine.
It's whatever. I don't need to impress you. Look at that jacket.
Well, the teams, again, they found themselves, that was pretty rough in the center of the map, the up and down. The terrain around San Martin is difficult to work with at the best of times. So for those squads, especially Lazarus, they showed a little bit of aggression, but some tentative behavior with Space Station Game. We'll see if they can keep that going. United looking like they're going to be sharing some car spawns with Player One Esports.
Yeah, I've been really liking the way that Player One Esports has been playing. They're currently sitting at 7 points. They're just on the other side, on the right side. The right side being the right, the wrong side of the leaderboard. But only just, as they have been playing actually pretty well today, and we see our circle pop, and we're going to the northeast. God, I love this circle.
Tempo likely going to be going for that far northern rotation here. They're going to know that from last game, there were not too many players up in the northeast, so for Tempo, they're going to have that eastern road all to themselves. They might be running into potentially Sonics, who are nice and dead center around El Azhar. They're not going to want to move too much. Space Station Gaming sticking to their trash strategy as they find themselves split up around that western portion of the first zone.
Trash looting strategy was probably...
that was intentional.
Okay, yeah, we're going to be nice to him, but ripping to me. Well, so you got United and P1 Esports also dropping and finding these cars. They're having to make their way into Los Leones, which obviously outside of Circle, to loot. There is a possibility that they could run into each other if they're not careful, but we have to keep an eye on that. C9 is going to go ahead and loot up Picado as quickly as possible. They do have Crew just off to their south and Ghost just on the other inside of the circle if they decide to make their way in a little early.
Now, what could be very interesting with this circle, naturally, we're looking at Cloud9 and Picado. We're up towards that northeastern area. A lot of teams firmly aware, hey, nobody's going to be up towards the northeast, so let's do a long rotation around. That means that we could actually see a lot of teams stacking up around that location, just thinking because nobody will be there.
Absolutely, for VG. And for those of you wondering, the trash looting strategy is basically a non-standard strategy where you split up among a bunch of smaller compounds rather than taking like a dense loot spot like a San Martin. That's what we see Tempo do on Erangel. Space Station does it on Miramar. So it's one of those things where, you know, it's a little rough going if you don't get good spawns, but in these settings, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, the way the settings are right now, everything, the loot's jacked up to oblivion. So, yep. I mean, you can go anywhere and still end up with an SLR and a ton of rounds here. So you see Overconfident looting up in El Pozo. Going to be interesting to see what Shoot to Kill decides to do here. On these circles, they tend to like to go very far north, as you were saying, Matcham. They try to play a little bit more around Tierra Branca. So, you know, as far as teams that like to rotate north go, you know, that's kind of one of the teams that usually likes to do that. So teams are going to have to play around that and play around Shoot to Kill. Now,
notice where Overconfident is over at El Pozo. They've got a lot of mountains kind of in between them, and the direct path leads straight to San Martin. They're not going to do that. So that means that they're either going to have to choose to go north, go around Crater, or go back down towards the south and maybe dip all the way through. Really, Overconfident has a very difficult rotation ahead of them.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting way. They're going to have to plan this. I think the right call here is maybe going north through La Cabrera. I think they're probably aware that there might be a team there. They saw parachutes dropping a little earlier, but GG well played, as you can see, very, very split up here. Might be making their way in a little bit sooner. So you see United still very spread out here, all across Los Leones, all across the south here. It's going to be hard for them to get together and make their way into this circle in time. So they might end up having to play towards the edge on the southern side here.
Specifically because they have Player One Esports right in between them. Dill Hero's off on him by himself, doing a little bit of looting, but E United went ahead and made their way back down to Los Leones. David, also over here by himself, and the rest of his team went down to Los Leones.
Good old Dave. United, I think they have a pretty easy path into the first zone. We can already see Sonics and Space Station Gaming starting to cluster around the center of the first play zone, and there goes Tempo. For those of you who can't see, they're headed all the way north. So really the pressure points, Matt, are going to be around that western side, specifically, again, around San Martin. But because there's so little water in play, lots of open fields, Lazarus is going to have a relatively easy time finding their way around the northern side and into the zone.
With as many people that are thinking, let's go north because it's safe, early rotation is going to be really big. So Lazarus already ahead of the game, making their way up there. Tempo Storm as well. Vicious Gaming, not necessarily going all the way up around the north, going with a long rotation, just kind of cutting around that northern part of the circle, just trying to find themselves a good spot. Looks like they might be making their way over toward Crew de Val, maybe onto some of those rocks on the other side of it.
Gonna have to be careful because Space Station is already rotating in that same position.
Looking at the way this is setting itself up, and actually just a reminder for those of you guys just tuning in today, it is the final day of the NPL Royale. All the contenders teams and all the NPL teams battled through Friday and Saturday to get here. Only the top 8 from their individual groups have made it here today, and they are vying for an $80,000 prize. We are on match number 3, and it's still very, very close.
Just past this halfway point, getting started inside the round. Nobody dying as of yet, but Dexy might be in a little bit of trouble and take that first blood, so there we go. But look at the retaliation coming out from GG Well Played's Heffa, getting the down onto Fozu as well. Sub-Zero takes a lot of damage on this. Really, the numbers do favor GG Well Played around this location.
Oh, that's a huge loss for Lazarus there, as they thought they might have a quick free kill onto Dexy, but unfortunately, that's going to be 2 going down for them. Their remaining players, the 2 other teammates, already in circle very far away, so this is bad news bears for Lazarus.
Dill Hero gets dropped as well. Rest of Player One Esports going to run up and just take him down, polish that off, so never going to regroup with his friends back over in Los Leones.
Well, this is what we were talking about when we saw, you know, the split, how they had to drop and make their way into Los Leones rather than just parachute and drop into the normal spots that they normally go into. Just very, very split up here. As now you see David, the rest of the boys from Player One Esports trying to see if they can spot out any of the rest of the crew from E United.
And that's the risk whenever you do these trash looting strategies. If you're off by yourself, you got to regroup very, very quickly. Otherwise, you find yourself behind the curve. 4 people just run right up on you.
For Pistola time, he's being tentative. Cloud9 also, I think they're spotting Simplicity in rotation. They're just trying to disable some vehicles, prevent Simplicity having an easy time as they transition into the first zone. There's so much space available right now. We're seeing not too much pressure building on the map. But as we head either middle or north potentially, you'll see that southern side still trying to sort itself out as E United, having lost a player, has to decide how they want to translate. And now looking at crew, they've set themselves up in another potential trap spot.
I was expecting a lot of long rotations up around to the north, but that just doesn't seem to be the case. Really very few teams making their way up there. So with this, looks like Endemic's going to get a free pass in, Overconfident's going to get a pass in, and really the south might be a little bit more clustered than when we were expecting.
Right now, Ghost actually in a really nice position there with the top of the hillsides to work with just south of El Azahar. They are still a little split, as we are used to kind of seeing Ghost do, being a little bit more spread out in the early game here. But that is just kind of allowing them to gain a lot of information as we're still seeing all these teams trying to make their way into this first circle. You see United now making their way in. They just going past Crew. Are any shots going to come out here from VAC?
I don't think Crew's got the manpower to make anything happen. They're just going too fast, and they're also looking to find their vehicles of their own as they're going to get picked up on the edge of the zone. Tempo Storm had a very easy transition into the center as well. They're going to be poking across El Azahar. That's where all the action is kind of centered right now. United just going to let those fuzzy dice bounce around as they get past Crew.
I mean, if you're going to take shots, why take them now?
I mean, you never know.
Maybe they didn't have the right line of sight. I don't know. But I mean, so Crew at least letting United know where they are, maybe taking some passing shots at them as they get back into their vehicles, make their way in, but they're heading straight in towards Simplicity here. It looks like they should stop here before they get too close, though.
You're going to see the circle shift coming in now, and we are going to go all the way south, actually. Fairly hard there, as now it's going to be El Azahar, similar to what we saw last game, acting as a bit of a choke point, as teams are going to have to move a little bit further south. And for actually Tempo Storm, it should be easy for them to go south on the road they came in on.
This is such a fun circle to play around. We've got Junkyard, that's pretty much the center point of it, so there's all of those crazy little dirt paths around this locations. Really cool hillsides, a lot of cool paths for the players to run through the trenches, so that way they can kind of pop up on top of each other. That's Trimsy taking a couple of shots at Endemic, who are just hauling right through there, just trying to get to a new spot.
You mentioned Junkyard. You got Ghost, Simplicity, and THC all heading towards Junkyard right now as we check in on Endemic, trying to make their way into the northwestern side of this circle.
Endemic using the very rare strategy of the wild herd of Broncos, just moving through the middle of the map.
Gotta keep an eye on those.
I feel kind of bad for what's happening to THC as they decided that they were wanting to make their way over towards smack dab in the middle of Junkyard, and they're just getting bullied out of it right now. So you can see what's going on. Simplicity's over here, Ghost. You can see Charity's like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with this, but Balak right up next to him. Check Shooter steps up, going to spray Balak in the back, get the down onto him. So now you can see Ghost starting to realize, okay, we've got somebody on this other angle. I think that it was a little bit of a distraction with the vehicle making the other approach, and Ghost didn't realize Simplicity's positioning.
Ooh, Check Shooter gonna miss that grenade though, so that's kind of big. Might allow Ghost to be able to get this res off on Balak. Oh, he gets taken very low. He's still alive though. McCoy doing a really good job of trying to prevent them from getting any closer, trying to stop those grenades from coming in.
Oh, that's such a dangerous peek back and forth. He needs to hit those shots. McCoy takes a lot of damage onto it. Check Shooter's going for a reposition. They know that they're going for the res. He is racing against the clock right now. If he can make it back over there in time.
Oh, Frolicker.
Oh, Frolicker. Is he going to spot him out as he approaches? He hears the shot's going to connect over onto it. That's going to stall Check Shooter, though, so that's going to allow the res to come off.
Frolicker was in such a pivotal position, but he's now having to med. That's allowing Simplicity to get in ground. Balak has just got the med off. McCoy's separated out. Frolicker has just got too much pressure from Penta. This is allowing Simplicity to now get super close to inside on Balak. Ghost is a little bit on the ropes right now.
Simplicity managed to make that foothold right inside the location. Pentalol, Frolicker, in an essential 1v1, and it's going to be Pentalol that does the necessary damage. Simplicity still on the search for the remaining Ghost members, but they retreated back a little bit. Balak's just going to go ahead and throw the grenade, try to get a little bit more position, but Balak's actually starting to play this a touch more aggressive, and that's going to force Simplicity to kind of retreat back next to their vehicles and say, okay, you can have that building, and we'll just play on this side.
Really, really good hold there from Ghost. Very fortunate in that Frolicker wasn't taken out. I mean, if he goes down, that fight goes a lot differently, but fortunately, he's going to stay alive for long enough to where the rest of Ghost is going to get res and push Simplicity back.
Like the aggression from Simplicity, but that complex, a little bit too difficult with all the corners. Balak, they just didn't have the time to finish that off. That actually went the best it could have for Ghost. McCoy played a pivotal role there as well, preventing that straight-on push. Well played by Ghost overall.
I gotta say, Frolicker's positioning, though, that was absolutely phenomenal. He got a read and said, okay, somebody could be coming around this side of the building. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the high ground position. Stalled the push so that way the res could come off, and now everybody's back to being strong and just kind of looking back and forth at each other.
Frolicker does go down now from Player One Esports, as Ghost woes will continue a little bit as Frolicker hopefully was able to rejoin with his team. Looks like he's in a position to be rezzed, but yes, Frolicker was in a key. That was a cool little fight.
I was going to say, yeah, Simplicity is aware.
Kill feed watching.
They got the down, so they know the fact that something happened to Ghost, so now they're just trying to stretch out a little bit more attention. Wooly, all right, I see what you got going with that. So now McCoy down, crawling back. So that's going to be a chain res. You can see Simplicity starting to separate out more and more, getting a little bit more information. Firmly aware, okay, somebody's got to be going for the res onto McCoy, and that's forcing everybody into Ghost to retreat back and just be inside this building, buying more space for Simplicity to play with.
They still don't have quite enough time to get there before McCoy gets res, but they're going to go for a full-on breach here. Simplicity wants it.
All right, Pentalol right on the other side of the door, listening to footsteps. The grenades are starting to come through the open windows. He's going to open it up, and look at this. Balak was looking at the wrong angle, paying attention to where the grenades are coming from. Pentalol opens the door, closes it again, trying to get a little bit of back and forth going on with this. Frolicker playing on a different angle, but Simplicity starting to get more and more of a stranglehold around Ghost position. Balak goes down inside of this. That's going to be a flush through. Grenades are still landing around everybody from Ghost, and it looks like the push is coming through. Frolicker was waiting for it, gets the necessary down onto Lynxy, but is the flood from Simplicity going to come through? And yes, Check Shooter gets the angle onto it. Now it is so much damage coming back over from Ghost.
Where'd that nade go?
Looking back around for it. There's one member back up the stairs. Now they have to slowly creep around and try to figure out where that last person from Ghost could be hiding at, and it's gonna be McCoy.
McCoy can do some damage from this position here, though. Simplicity's already lost one. Oh, McCoy gets taken about half health here. They know exactly where he is now.
How's he gonna make the play for this? He wants to go ahead and get the meds, but you can see the grenades are being prepped.
There it is.
That's gonna bounce right around his head, and there you go. Ghost Gaming is eliminated.
16th place for Ghost Gaming. That's a rough game for them, but Player One Esports, they've heard what's going on. They're going to be encroaching onto that fight from Simplicity. Simplicity didn't get out of that unscathed, however, as they did take a lot of damage. But now the center of the zone, we have seen a circle shift where, again, around that junkyard area, and things are starting to get tense.
Very, very heads-up play from Simplicity there, watching that kill feed, seeing the down onto Ghost, knowing that that was exactly the time to push in. And, I mean, they end up getting 4 kills off of it, or, well, Yep, 4 kills off of it, but they lose 2 in the process, which is unfortunate, but kills mattering so much in this game.
This is starting to become a reoccurring theme. Space Station Gaming and Shoot to Kill being involved, or at least right next to each other. Shoot to Kill's already had a lot of damage come their way. Really, it's just ALO up right now. Keep in mind, Shoot to Kill is in that 6th place spot. It's the top 6 teams that can actually make money. Keep in mind, we still have another round 2, nothing to worry about, but not necessarily the position that Shoot to Kill wants to be in right now.
Right, yeah, Shoot to Kill feeling very confident coming into this game, or into this final day, I should say, being one of the best teams in NPL and one of the best teams through their group. So for Space Station Gaming, and actually it's Endemic going at VG.
Endemic hitting some nice shots at range, just forcing them back. Really, this is just more of a cover fire style situation. Curious to see if something wants to play off of this. Keep in mind, we've seen Endemic play some really tricky spots as they come through here. They're not afraid to hide behind a rock and wait for somebody to like push up towards them and then just pop up last minute, or I don't know, have 3 people snaking and just let a whole team run in front of them and then spring the trap.
Yeah, definitely protecting something from range here. Now something's going to pop up and let him know where he's at. It's not going to be enough to get the down, unfortunately, but they have to turn their attention now into pushing as Alo.
Just like, please, no. Just go away.
Goodbye, my friends.
Maybe he can get a point off of this, all things considered, but he's just waiting to see how they move around. They might not check out this doorway.
They didn't check for Endemic last time, Space Station, so potentially Alo could play the spoiler if everything goes perfectly right for him. But for Alo, he's definitely on an island right now as the circle is about to be closing. Space Station Gaming is going to leave.
And now he has some protectors that he can just follow back through. He's just got to keep an ear and an eye out for how they rotate. Naturally, everybody's making their way over towards the circle. There's a lot of teams that still need to make their way over into here. We've got the Sonics, we've got Vicious Gaming. Meanwhile, we also have Endemic and Overconfident all still needing to push inside the circle, as well as naturally Space Station Gaming and Shoot to Kill.
Oh boy, but they're pushing right into Sonics right now, and VG also going to be involved in this fight as there's a 3-way push into the northern side of this circle. This could go, I mean, this could go anywhere. This could go as anybody's game.
Space Station Gaming's got the angles for several different teams, slowly starting to try to creep their way forward, but keep in mind, they are not inside the safe zone. Alo is still back behind them as well, so he might end up becoming a thorn back behind them, but really, it's all the other repositioned members from Vicious Gaming. Protege's playing a low angle and got the down onto Vexel, but really, Space Station Gaming doesn't have any clear path in front of them. They still have the Sonics if they win this fight, so really, they're having to fight a 2-pronged approach. They've got a whole team just posted up in front of them on one angle, another one that's peppering them with shots from the side, and they still need to figure out some way to push forward.
And now Endemic coming into 3rd party, or 4th party this fight rather, as they have a position on the circle right now. They're relatively safe. They can just take shots down on all of this.
Yeah, Space Station Gaming not in a great spot, but there's so many teams fighting here that the attention from all the teams is kind of split right now. Sonics is kind of in this low ground spot, but Tony V has been spotted at distance. Wolf is going to pick away at him, and he is going to go down and going to get the maybe flush here for Wolf, and that's going to be another point going to Endemic.
But that's going to unlock Space Station Gaming. The more that Sonics have damage done to them, that's going to give them a path to come into this. But Vicious Gaming still need to make their way up and forward. See, way off in the distance, Alo's just driving, got himself, he was trying to drive his way through, but he got peppered with a couple bullets, so he goes down. And Endemic now just really controlling all of these squads that are trying to make their way in the safe zone.
This is looking good so far. I mean, for Endemic, they're holding the edge of the zone. They've got no pressure to their south, and they're just trying to get as many points as they can. And now it's going to be that nade landing onto Space Station Gaming. Protege making a little red zone. Smurf is down and out, and Space Station is done in 13th place.
I get the feeling Vicious Gaming realized the fact that there was nowhere to go. Let's just go ahead and turn around and try to get these points if we can get them. Now they're out inside the blue. This is ticking for a ton of damage. Endemic's still up on that hillside, and it's just a matter of time. Yep, there we go. Vicious Gaming eliminated in 11th.
What a crazy, crazy jumble there at the northern side. Sonics, fortunately, are able to get 2 players into the zone, so they still have a shot here at the end game with Smithy and Yaxley. Meanwhile, Endemic still have 4 strong, have this northwestern side. P1 Esports also, who is involved in that fight, picking up a nice little rack of kills of 5 right now as the circle has moved, and it's going to be looking good for THC.
Happy campers always somehow manage to find where those last couple of circles are going to be at. That's like their thing. You know, we talk about necessarily that Space Station Gaming tends to be a little bit more passive. The happy campers just want to find themselves a nice little house in the middle of the circle, maybe has a good school district or something like that, and just kind of posts up and live there.
I'm liking Endemic's play here. I think they're going to try and take the zone on Sonics, who's very concerned with what Endemic's doing on top of that hill, or on the bottom of the hill, rather. So Endemic's got something set up close to the zone. C9's got the well, not the junkyard, the western side. They're not in the zone either. It's kind of Simplicity, the linchpin in the junkyard area with THC in the center. Tempo Storm, however, not to be forgotten about. They have 4 strong and a lot of space.
I get the feeling that might be a key factor. We haven't had a chance to really see Tempo Storm be really too dominant as of yet. They've got a lot of control over on that eastern side. A lot of the teams are all funneling in over on the western side. That's going to provide them a lot more space to work with. But Crew getting a little bit of a fight with E United.
This could be good for Overconfident, though. Overconfident was getting gate kept a little by E United, so now Crew, E United having to turn their attention to where Crew is coming from, allowing Overconfident to make their way in. So E United could be getting rushed here.
Taylor J's trying to hold that angle. A couple of shots went awry. Didn't get the necessary downs on it. Trying to get the peek back over onto that. Taylor J is starting to realize, okay, this might not be the best angle for me. Finally steps up, hits a very necessary amount of damage back over onto Leda. Trying to prep a nade, see if he's going to throw that back over on there. That might actually connect. We'll have to see how the angle goes through. I think it might bounce a little bit off, but Taylor J gets the reload. Now going for a reposition, just trying to keep them back over there. Let the blue damage create a little bit more pressure.
Couple of key whiffs there, unfortunately, for Taylor J with the M24. That's allowing Crew to set up some utility. They're going to want to push up this hill and around, but there's just not a lot of cover there. Taylor holding a very key angle, just trying to make anything happen. Crew's still not in an advantageous position at all. They've got Cloud9 a little further to the north. The terrain play here is going to be big. Crew needs to open up a frag onto E United.
I really like what happened with Taylor J there. He just took a couple of random shots. Sure, he was shooting at rocks and random things like that, but it was to force them to slow down and play around the smokes just a little bit longer.
Right now, every single player from E United is focused on a different team. Pistola Time was shooting down at C9. Geist was holding off Overconfident. Taylor J holding off Crew. They're asking so much of each one of these individual players right now.
Cloud9 gets a couple of downs that are very necessary so that way they can get a little bit more control over this. Keep in mind, just 2 members up, and Dimick still has the 4. I think they're going to be able to get off that res just fine. It's going to be a little bit of utility spent, but look at the aggression coming up from Cloud9. These are the guys that are in first right now, and they just want to go after some points. Profi slowly creeping up there. Oh, here comes the mini red zone.
That could be okay.
It might force him a little bit back, depending on how Mini Fridge Jr. moves, so he's going to step back over there, and it's actually going to be the Tempo Storm guys that are starting to rain it down, and look at that. Now just Wolf, the last man up, and Profi is on the hunt, trying to see if he can get any angles off of this. Mini Fridge Jr. goes down as well. K-Mind starting to come alive on that other angle. He's like, hey, I've got a grenade too. Let's see if I can manage to get anything off of this. Toss it up into there a little bit too far, but Wolf's trying to go for the res. That one's going to be just a touch too far as well, and I got to say, that has to be wrecking their nerves. They keep hearing the grenades land right next to them. And there you go. That's going to be Endemic getting eliminated.
That's a perfect engagement by C9. They didn't even have to expose themselves whatsoever to either team, either Tempo Storm or Endemic. I think Tempo Storm did steal a couple of kills through there as player 1 also gets naded off the map. So for C9, they've got 2 left. They got a couple of kills. They're in the top 8, and here comes Vac. They're cresting the hill. They've heard this fight, and they've actually had a little bit of an opening to get there.
So now slowly creeping back up. Profi, I gotta say, he's like playing an espionage game right now. He's trying to sneak around everything. K-Mine gets spotted out, and good lord, that was quick responses coming out from Crew.
Vac not waiting to see what happens. He's gonna crest that hill. He's not sneaking around for anything. He's gonna go and pick up those quick 2 kills. So Crew still 3 strong on the western side of this circle. They're gonna be making their way in, as the north now is where the fight is going to happen.
We have seen a new circle that has popped. Overconfident did manage to kind of cut around E United, playing around the low area. Tempo Storm's moving up towards the north to potentially gatekeep out 2 different teams, taking out some shots towards Simplicity right now. So with this, Overconfident did manage to get inside the circle. Crew's also going to do so as well, but really it's Tempo Storm up towards the north that's kind of gatekeeping.
Yeah, they've got that high ground position. They're using it to harass Simplicity on their way into the zone. Now it's going to be United again, looking to see if Taylor J can land a pivotal shot here and open up Shrimzy. The nade is going to land pretty damn close, but a little bit too close to the rock. The follow-up will come, not happening.
Shrimzy's just like, okay, I'm just gonna love this rock. It's my friend. You gotta kind of golf this, you know, you throw it out there and gotta get it to curve back around the other side of this. You gotta plan for it to roll down the hill at United. So with this, Shrimzy's like, hey, I've got a couple of grenades too. Maybe I can get something out of it. There we go. Finally managed to get around that rock.
Not a lot of golf it players on
At least some putt-putt, man, you know?
Well, United has to be worried now because Stab and Trevor still already managed to make their way a little bit closer towards the road. They might have a little bit better cover to fight this, but United's still 3 strong. They have to be worried about the third party from Tempo as well as the OC boys.
I would be terrified of Tempo right now. They're in a great position. They've kind of separated out. We've talked about getting control over circles, and Tempo Storm is doing it. They essentially have made a line through the map saying, this half is ours.
Looking at the way this is set up now for United, they've got overconfident. They can't get Shrimzy. I think Shrimzy's already dropped out. So for Stab, just prone, waiting for any more information. That ridgeline separating both of these teams. And Tempo Storm still looking down at THC. They've got a nice little hole, but they don't have the zone advantage. Tempo Storm, that is all them right now. They're just waiting like sharks. Is Sharky to get it, everybody? Do you ever want to get that one? So to clean up THC.
I like this. Tempo Storm knows they have a little bit of control of the circle back behind them. Not in any rush to get inside the safe zone. Instead, they have two different squads in front of them. If they make both of these teams stall enough, if they can survive through it, Adam has something he wants to say about that as he's running right up into him and goes, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. It gets instantly spotted out.
I like Tempo sending Zampa up north. They realize that THC is very strong right now, so they're going to provide themselves a little bit more support outside of circle, trying to finish off this fight as quickly as they can.
And it's going to be Crew that's actually taking the shots back down onto them as well. So really just spray the last member for Happy Campers. He's got a little bit of trouble ahead of him. As you can see, thinking about maybe taking that, running off into safety. Stab the last member up for Overconfident. Still just trying to survive through this. But on the other side of that, you can see it's Trevor also trying to make their way through there. Sorry about that. There are actually two members still up for Overconfident, but it's E United starting to push their way inside the circle.
Yeah, they're just trying to find any level of seam now for Overconfident to try and defend, but United being a little tentative. It's hard to push over this ridge. Now Crew has actually come back, and they're going to pressure now. They're putting a lot of shots down to United.
We talk about the control of an area. Tempo Storm forced another team to rotate back over where another fight is happening. That's the way you want to play this. You may not get the kill points yourself, but you can force a fight. So now you can see Slade is stepping up, moving a little bit further forward. The sprays are starting to come out from Crew, but keep in mind, Mystery is already down. That's a step up from Taylor J, just playing around that rock. Guy steps up and also hits a beautiful shot. Now it's all onto Vac on the other side of this, but United managing to weather that storm.
Tempo Storm is stealing this game, and no one even knows it. They've taken full center control, and now they're going to try and get as many kills as possible.
I absolutely love this. Again, it's territory control. Really, Vac, the closest player to him right now. United still has to push through the last remaining members of Overconfident, and Tempo Storm is just paying attention. They're listening to every single fight. Sharky way off in the distance, getting a little bit more information, and we're not even at Circle 8 yet.
This is Tempo realizing that they are already in the best position to win, but they don't want to lose out on all these kills as they're going to get involved and pick up a bunch right there as they're now sitting on 13 kills.
I was going to say, yeah, they want every single thing that's going on right now. Stab's already down as well. Trevor just hears the flood of Tempo Storm players running around him, so it's now onto Trevor and Vac to try to top a strong Tempo Storm, and I got to say, these guys know where everyone is. There's the grenade that's coming through. Vac's trying to survive what's going on in front of him, but it looks like Sharky's got a beat. Somehow he's managed to survive for a little bit longer, but that pushes Tempo Storm up into 15 points. Trevor realizes he's in a lot of trouble. Maybe I can get something. Tempo says, no. I want all 16 of these kills.
That was super. I mean, I either want to praise Tempo Storm intelligence or shame everyone on the southern side. Crew is like, let's just give up our position, go and jump into a fight to try and get some kills. But they all went outside the zone. They were all fighting outside. They all went over the ridge, and Tempo was just waiting for them.
I mean, that's just dominant performance coming from Tempo Storm being like, no, we're going to go ahead and kill this squad that's over here. Crew, you don't want to fight us, so go back over that other direction, and then forces a three-way squad fight.
Exactly. You see so many teams that are in Tempo's position there at the late side. They realize they have center circle. They have the win, essentially. They don't have to do anything. They could just wait it out. Not Tempo. Tempo knows how important kills are. They want to go in there and third party and pick up as much as they can, and here you go. They end up with 16 kills and a first place, and I got to imagine that they might have jumped C9 here.
I got to say, there's one man who deserves praise on Tempo Storm, and that's the vocal one. That's Maluk. Guaranteed knowing that they had to go there and clean up as much as they could, and that has got to be the ultimate game for Tempo Storm to try and jump into first place.
Not to be ignored, though. Overconfident came in second place. They didn't get a lot of kills, but they were already in second place in the points. So with that, they're at least going to get the placement points off of it, but Tempo Storm, 26 points that round.
26 points.
That's huge.
Overconfident got 6. And they finished in second. So, I mean, props to Overconfident for coming in second there and getting as far as they did. But the name of the game is kills. You have to get kills if you're going to come in and get in the top in the running for this big $40,000 cash prize.
Tempo Storm got a lot of kills, so that's...
They got a ton of them.
You get the points, you move up the leaderboard. We were talking about it beforehand. Horsey, look, you know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. Let's cut this high-level analysis and go down to the stage with Tempo.
Thank you guys very much. I'm here with your boy Dre, and wow, I don't know what to talk about, positioning or kills, because you guys nailed it on both this game. Talking to the analysts, though, one of the questions we had and one of the things I'd like a little more insight on is the decision-making that you guys do when it comes time to split. A couple times from Tempo Storm, we saw 3 in the north and you in the south. A couple times you're 2-2. How do you guys make those choices in game?
It's just like game knowledge. You know, we're all very smart. We know how to play the game. So we had 3 on that north side to hold out those north teams and get those free kills. And I just held the south and made sure we didn't get wrapped so no one can kill us. And we ended up winning the game from that.
And that's absolutely a demonstration of your game knowledge here. It's something that we don't see a lot of the other teams do as often and certainly not as effectively as you guys do. So what separates you from the rest of the teams here?
I guess it's just our experience, really. Like, we're all experienced. We all work really well together. We can fight any team, kill any team, and we're not worried, so.
And in times like that, when you're so far away from the rest of the team, are you making calls on positioning as well?
Yeah. It's very important for me to communicate in that location. I had to make sure my team knew that no one was repping our south and that they were safe to just keep tunneling north. So it all worked out.
Well, you say it's your communication that sets you apart, but I want to know exactly what you guys are saying on the mic to make this happen. I mean, you guys have deep, deep secrets, and it's my job to dig them out.
I mean, there's no really, like, it's nothing special. You know? We just make sure everything's called. We make sure all the information. We make sure we're all on the same page. So, yeah.
Well, there was certainly a page you guys turned there from securing territory in the circle to chasing down kills. When did you decide to flip the switch and that you were clear to do that?
We saw that E United and crew are fighting on that west edge, and we started pushing up off it. We saw them getting trades, and then Tampa got an entry knock, and we pushed in and wiped them.
All right, last question for you, Dre. When I watch your faces in this game, you are all so serious and focused. Are you having fun up there?
Oh, of course. We're always having fun. We just don't really like to show a lot of emotion, but it's all fun.
Well, I'm happy to see you smiling, man. Congratulations on a great victory. We've got one more match of PUBG here to determine who is taking home the $40,000 for a first-place finish. We'll find out after this commercial break.
PlayStation 8, Ghost, or now not. Ghost. 5 to 9, yeah. Okay, up there. Hi.
I think we got enough.
Yeah, basically. So we're, hello, everyone.
Hey, welcome back, guys. It's the, Welcome back. It's the Break Time Takeover. How you doing? You want to do the greet this time? Say hi.
The what? Hi. Welcome.
You want to ask us questions or chat, you can get at us in Twitch or on hashtag NPL. We got a couple of minutes here, but that was a great last game. A lot of movement.
Yes.
Who do you think?
We updated the standings. I hope you guys can read this. So you know who's going to be in the top 6 to top 8 before the final game. It's pretty clear to read, right?
Yeah. I think the takeaway is Tempo had an amazing game.
Yes.
And that will put them in a spot they're accustomed to, probably first place.
Okay.
They can play their game without stressing. Everybody below them basically only went down one position.
Yeah, it was
There wasn't a lot of shuffling, surprisingly, going into that game.
Yeah.
Is that good? I guess that's good for the teams, right?
That's good for those teams. It's a little unfortunate for the teams that were below them that are trying to do what Tempo did and kind of like jump back up, because it just means that they have one more game to do it. They all got points even if they shifted down one. So that means you got to overcome even more points if you want to make it over them. And it's...
I mean, okay, so for those of you who maybe just be joining us, one game left. It's a best of 4 series. Winner takes home 40 grand. Tempo is now in the pole position to do that.
Yeah, they were 9th before the last game.
They were 9th before the last game.
There was one of those, like, oh, is this the downside of, is this the slide of Tempo? Are they not going to be as dominant anymore? Has the meta caught up to them? Are the rest of the teams caught up to them? No.
That's been their narrative since the very beginning, though. Is this idea that, like,
yeah.
Will it ever be like? Well, is Tempo finally lost? It's every time I change, I'm like, it's like, are they finally off their game? And now it's like they're right back in. They're right back into it. So, who is the caster's favorite? Somebody wants to know on Twitch chat.
Favorite team?
Maybe who's your favorite to win?
Favorite
right
what?
Who's your favorite to win this thing? 40K. Who's your favorite?
I'm gonna go Tempo Storm.
Yeah.
They look strong. The way they played that last game, that is exactly how they like to play their game, and so they just need to do it one more game, and it's going to be solid. Like,
okay.
I before the previous game, I would have said I think either Cloud9 or Ghost, because Ghost can put up some big numbers, but I've got to default back to Tempo Storm. I'm sorry, it's boring, it's cliche.
I'm going to stay spicy and go with E United. They dropped to 4th, but I think they still have the potential to put up some big numbers, and the next one come out on top. And of course, like, overrated is contenders team, like
overconfident,
underrated.
Overconfident, underrated.
But we want to see him put up the numbers like their contender team. If anybody could use the cash, especially because playing like this, NPL next season probably.
Well, they're sick of us now, so they're cutting to break once again.
Oh, we forgot to do the song name again this time.
Oh, crap.
It's,
what is that?
The last game's on the way, but not before we look back at the third one, Cameron. Highlight time.
Say whatever you want about Miramar, you cannot deny that the gun fighting is as hot as the desert summer heat, and these teams are going in hard. They're catching up to the meta, and they're going in strong, and they're getting those kills, getting those frags.
The door meta is strong with this one. Penta through the window. The breach was great, and that was the end of that. Wolf with a long-distance shot. Tap, 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 and that's the end. This guy has been a huge grow and show here in the NPL.
Ooh, yeah, Space Station get knocked out early on. Not a good look for them, but here comes the grenades out from C9 that do eventually find their targets onto Endemic. All that damage. And it's nade usage. Nade, like, aggro meta is coming up. What we've all been seeing growing, though, has been the nade meta.
People are like, nerf nades. I'm like, nah, this is too much fun. Look at it go, one after another. That rock will not protect him. Leda says so to E United. He's been fire lately, getting some vicious spray downs. Remember that one against Ghost yesterday? Didn't ultimately come out on top in this exchange, but definitely showed him a thing or two.
Yeah, Leda's actually one of the players from Crew that have really stood out, but here comes the push from Sharky. Really pinning his name onto the best NPL player. And well, Tempo Storm, they weren't looking good until this previous round, but they are coming in hot. Zamper with the final kill, 16K Club.
16K Club. I know you said it doesn't count during the Royale, fair enough, but that's a big kill number, hitting 16K. Even in the NPL regular season, we've only had 4 teams do it.
It's
so
huge.
Huge game by them. It puts them, I think, all the way up in first place, if I don't miss my guess here, which is a giant jump because they were like 9 or something,
they were
right?
9th.
So big move, but that also means, Cameron, that anybody can make that move. Yesterday, we saw GGWP
they did it.
make a massive jump up the scoreboard. Overconfident in the previous game, went from, I think, like 15th to 2nd. So one good game puts you in the money. Top 6 pays. Don't forget that bad boy.
Yeah, you definitely want to be up there. And even for teams like Simplicity, they are finding themselves more on the bottom of that leaderboard. Just one solid game.
Now, I think that you wanted to talk specifically about bolt action sniper rifles and bringing them back into play. So
yeah, so we
saw the analyst replay. Tell me about it.
So we've seen bolt actions lose favor the previous year in the previous Western meta, but I still think that they have a place, even though it's difficult to finish a down player. But look, Wooly gets an opening on McCoy with the bolt action rifle. McCoy cannot trade back, has to crawl away, and with that opening, Simplicity push, and they push hard. Get right up close to the building, and that means Ghost's advantage that they had was stripped down to almost nothing.
That's all about when you get the knock, follow with the push. Simplicity has been executing that very well, and we saw them go into the door meta. Penta sneaks up quietly, gathers information using his ears, and then it executes.
Yeah, I feel like Balak didn't even know that their players were this close. Pentalore just opens the door and sprays down, and they flood in. Ghost try and challenge through this doorway here, but after losing Balak, after McCoy was delayed having to heal up himself once he was revived, they use their advantage and they take everything they can from it. And I think Ghost are the team that go out in 16th after this engagement.
Absolutely. So Frolicker holding a tough angle there, does manage to get himself a knockdown. And the fight continues, but Check Shooter comes around the side, gets a nice burn on Frolicker, and Simplicity with an excellent masterclass on how to breach and clear.
Got that first player, and they had the players wrap around. They cleared the bottom floor, 1v4. I believe it's only McCoy from Ghost waiting at the top, and there's not much that he can do.
It's a hard windows to get out of.
Oh, yeah, this is actually very, very difficult. I think he's basically stuck up there except for the stairwell. He needs to get a couple of knocks, and unfortunately, it doesn't go that way.
All right, so we'll see the boost, and we can keep watching the fight as it comes to an end, and there it is. They figured out when you know where your opponents aren't, you just toss a grenade in the one spot that they are. Yeah. And that's what they did. They didn't, you don't push the stairs. Use utility. Utility, utility, utility is the name of the meta right now. Looking at the map from the last game, the last Miramar match of this Royale, if you will, the NPL Royale, is going to be right across the middle. Not a bad plane. Not the best.
It's a similar plane and the similar first circle as well. So it's going to be quite familiar for these teams coming off of game number 2, the first Miramar match.
As we take a look at the circles and how they braid out, for those of you who maybe joined chat later, or hanging out, or showing up, this is a bit of a unique week. NPL Royale was a chance to bring all the contenders teams and all the NPL teams together for one weekend of a fun time. The first day and the second day, mix the groups, top 8 advanced to today to play for a big money check, but in reality, it's just a good excuse to get the whole community together to throw down and see who's the best of the best.
Rotations from the top 2 teams. Tempo Storm didn't have to move that far. Oh, he's actually overconfident in Ghost we're looking at here, but
yeah, interesting. All right, let's take a look at that final play out here as we move up the hill. Tempo Storm controlled, and controlled. They had a 3-1 split that managed the entire east side of this circle, made sure no one could approach on them, and then just moved as a unit.
I know that the map feed may not be as exciting as the main feed, but go back and watch how Tempo Storm played the previous game, especially the latter half of it. They are a really good team because they spread out. They have a player as an anchor. In this case, it was your boy Dre, and the other 3 flush on the other side. But the reason why they do it, and they're one of the only teams to do it, is because they're confident in each other, and that confidence gets you wins.
It seems like they have the confidence, that any one person can handle a push as long as needed before they need to sort of go get backed up. All right, match 3, final standings, not overall, just match 3, 26 points for Tempo Storm. They literally sponged up what everybody else wanted to get their hands on. Starting in second, it's only 9 that sort of falls down from there, which is why we didn't see a lot of movement on the board. I think we're going to see everyone dip down 1 spot, Tempo Storm move up to maybe number 1 or number 2, and be set to go.
So as this meta changes and becomes more aggressive, I think the amount of kills that the first place team is expected to get is going to lower because it's going to be more spread out, more evened out. But then that means that when you're like Tempo Storm and you get 16 kills, that is even more points in your favor compared to everyone else. Look at the drop, 26 down to 9 for second place. Absolutely ridiculous.
Incredible. Now let's take a look at where we are overall. Tempo Storm at 36 points. Cloud9 at 28, Overconfident and E United knocking on heaven's door as they try to take Cloud9 out of second, and will be eyeing Tempo for first. Top 6 placements pay, but in the last game, Tempo got 26 points, right? Yeah. That means if you add 26 to any total out here, everybody in that sort of mix down to 14 or so can get into the money.
Yeah. Easy enough to go for a big game. We saw GG Well Played do it yesterday.
Tiebreaker, this is important to know. First thing that we look at is total kill points across all the matches. If that matches up, obviously placement's first. So if you finish off, we get a tie for first, it'll be kill points. Then we move to highest total points earned in a single match. Highest kill points earned in a single match. If it still requires additional tiebreak, kill points in most recent match, the last match matters.
Yes.
Then placement points in most recent match. So there is extra onus on performing well in the final match because that is the 4th and 5th designator to break those ties. Feature teams in match 4 are the top 4 teams: E United, Overconfident, Cloud9, and Tempo Storm. Shout out OC, baby. These guys are a contender team, but you wouldn't know it based on where they are placed. Cameron, talk to us about our first team, E United.
E United, they're not fully at 100% power, but this is a lot more like preseason E United that we saw. Miramar games weren't that great, but we are going back to Erangel. That is where they had their stomp. The very beginning of the day, even though it was Cloud9 that got the victory, they still picked up enough kills to put them over the top of that opposing team. So now we're back on Erangel. Let's see them go out again, get those frag, get those numbers, and hopefully overtake.
All I have to say is we're back, boys! Keep up the good work and bring that to NPL next week because this has been much, much better, I'm gonna be honest with you.
A lot more fun.
All right, the next group that we're gonna go ahead and take a look at is the only contenders team in the top 4. Overconfident and underrated. These guys have come out in spades. Currently in second place. I've been super hyped with their performance. It seems like the 2 changes they made to their roster have been incredibly strong. The Shrimsy is sort of their last pickup. It has been the right piece, the final piece of the puzzle. They didn't make the preseason. They were left out. They were that one team on the cusp. They got their shot. They went into contenders, and they are making one heck of a statement that they'll be joining us in NPL in the next split.
Last place in contenders, coming up to top 4 in Royale. That is a huge jump and a huge performance by them. But Cloud9, second place, knocking on Tempo Storm's door. Again, similar story. Their Miramar games haven't been that great, but we're going back to Aaron Gullet to see if they can't use that high-speed rotation, Pochinki drop to net them the frags necessary to take first place. They are only 8 behind Tempo Storm.
Oh, they got the safety, the comfort blanket or the pillow, the hand warmers, the hoodies. These guys are about as ready as they can be, and honestly, it's been wonderful watching them play this week. I would be a little worried about going in NBL against them with the confidence boost they're getting. Our last team in first place right now, the favorites to win this whole thing is Tempo Storm. They have been absolutely on fire. They thrive on these one-day events. Think about the finals of preseason, same idea. They come out to play. It blows my mind that it was less than 6 months ago that these guys were absolutely heartbroken about not getting to PGI World Championships. I remember talking to Zampa about what's the next step in the career, why are we struggling so much? They finally figured it out. They've added Sharky to the roster. He's been a huge pickup and a boon to their success, and it's awesome to see these guys thriving in this environment. That said, Cameron, that's it. That's it for us. We're going to send it over for the last match of the day to the gentleman who'll be giving you the calls on that one. It's the Ed, and Eddie of PUBG, Moses, Matcham, and Porosaurus.
Thank you so much, Toffees. It is time for game number 4. It is extremely close atop the leaderboard. All of the top 4 teams are within striking distance of each other, and all eyes are on Tempo Storm. There are $80,000 on the line, and boy, we are set up for some huge action here.
Oh, you can't ask for more excitement than this going into the 4th game. I mean, we've got so many teams that still have a shot here. One big game could make the huge difference. Somebody could come out of nowhere and just throw this whole thing out of whack. It could be these guys. It could be E-United.
E-United, 1 point behind, overconfident right now, 25 and 26 respectively. Just above that, 2 points above overconfident is going to be Cloud9 at 28 points. So really, anybody's game still inside of this range. It's the top 6 teams that walk away with the cash today.
Absolutely, and now the question is, what is gonna be the strategy if you're Tempo Storm? Do you stick to the strategy? Do you risk potentially being hot dropped by a lower team? Do the contenders teams want to stake a claim to the top 4? There are so many storylines, but it is time now for match number 4. The plane is in the air. It's a little bit further to the north than we would have wanted for a nice easy plane path, but still all options are on the table.
Got to make it a little bit more chaotic. Potentially some of those teams that want to go back down to Primorsk might be trying to steal a couple of vehicles away. Really, eyes are what could be happening around the Gatka region. That's the strategy. That's the looting spot for Tempo Storm. They have presently an 8-point lead. Could teams try to contest against them? I mean, let's be honest. If you're going to go after them, Moses, you were talking about it. They separate out. It's a really hard team to hot drop.
Our two teams in 16th and 15th right now hot dropping on each other in Zarky as Lazarus and GG Well Played trying to do a little something different. Might end up right on top of each other, but we got to keep an eye on everything else too. Ghost now dropping Overconfident right on top of the Player One Esports there as well.
Kills are so important, and going after those kills is going to be the key to basically climbing into a position where maybe something can happen. And already it's Lazarus and GG Well Played, believe it or not, hot dropping each other in Zarky of all places.
When was the last time we saw a fight in Zarky and Biznatch is like, I don't know either, can I just please get out of here? He's got himself the most powerful weapon in the game, the VSS, set and ready to go in a 1v4.
The very sneaky sniper.
I don't think there's a lot of
Where
sneaking.
is the rest of GG Well Played? They're a little bit further off.
They landed and they were like, I don't want to have a thing to do with this. And they took off into the distance. So there you go. No VSS downs coming into play. At least took a couple of shots, and now he's just, he's embraced his death.
Well, there you go. But Lazarus now picking up another point, so maybe not going to be in 16th place here at the end of the day. They currently have 7 points going in to the final game. Obviously not the best tournament, and this is obviously not something that you want to see.
4 people all stacked up inside of a UAZ driving when you're in 3rd place. One good spray could turn out bad for them, but keep in mind they were one of the last teams to drop, and they've got a whole island to loot.
Yeah, they've likely scouted out very, very closely the military base to make sure no one else came with them. So 4-man to a UAZ seems dangerous, but they're going to have to start their loot in the military base proper. But then the question becomes, where do you go after that? They're going to have to probably go to the western bridge and skirt around the entire circle. So I don't know what's going to happen with Overconfident. For Tempo Storm, they are sticking to the standard strategy, and they've got miles of space between them as well as all around them. No one getting anywhere near Tempo Storm. Poro, probably a good idea considering their last game.
Yeah, not a bad idea indeed. Is Tempo coming up with 26 points in that last game, shooting to the top of the leaderboard. At the time, going into that game, they were sitting in 9th place at with 10 points. So it just goes to show any of these teams on the leaderboard could have one of those big games and find themselves in first at the end of the day.
Naturally, we are looking at the top 4 teams right now, but keep in mind, it's the top 6 that get money. So Crew and Endemic are presently in that 6th, 7th spot, and Space Station Gaming back down below them. So Vicious Gaming still at 5th as well. But one thing I wanted to note, Endemic, Space Station Gaming, Ghost, all tied at 15 points right now.
Yeah, just outside of the money as well. All tied at 15 in 7th place. Crew, as you said, 1 point above them. As we see United doing their split loot strategy around the prison area. They have nothing off to their east here as Lipovka is completely currently unoccupied.
So just a quick reminder for those of you watching at home, we are going to be focusing on the top 4 teams right now on the leaderboard. There is a lot of potential movement in the entire lobby right now, but for now we're going to be focusing on C9, United, Tempo Storm, and Overconfident.
Everybody is within striking distance right now. You need to keep an eye on Tempo, C9, OC, all these teams at the top, though, to make sure that they last a little bit longer.
If you're looking for the map stream, by the way, it is twitch.tv/PUBG esports map.
There you go.
So you can follow all the teams in the lobby. But for Cloud9, they are in rotation early, as we've seen so often.
I really love this from Cloud9. This has become their thing. They are always the first team to move, always trying to vie for some type of positioning so the way they can get to a point to maybe catch a couple of kills extremely early in the game.
Not just early rotating as in general, but rotating as a 4-man team. A lot of times we're seeing some kind of, I don't want to call it really lazy rotating, but maybe sending a scout. Cloud9 doesn't do the scouting thing. They move as a full 4-man unit, whereas other teams you might see them send 1 or 2 in early with a couple of trailers. This Cloud9 likes to stay together as 4 early just in case things go wrong.
Okay, Lazarus, way up towards Zarky. Looks like GG Well Played is like, hey, you killed our friend. We're going to come back over here and mess with you just a touch. So with this now, looks like GG Well Played kind of on the hunt for a couple of kills. Lazarus hasn't had the best day, but these guys can absolutely murder a squad.
Just as a reminder, this is the last and second to last place team. I wonder if there was maybe just a bet between them. Just like, listen, let's battle in Zarky. We're kind of far off. And, you know, really, whoever wins this could position themselves for a big game if it goes well.
Fozu went for a reposition, but takes a ton of damage from Dexy. So now that's going to make it a straight 3v3. No potential res coming over there, but Felix got to angle back over towards Heffa, trying to hit the shots, and does manage to get it. So now Lazarus starting to get more and more control over Zarky. Sorry, I had to say it once because I don't know next time I'll be able to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fozu's still down. Heffa already finished off. This is now 2 men up for GG Well Played. How do they want to play around this? Again, not a whole lot on the line with this fight except for Pride, but Pride is enough to fight for here.
Way off on the outside of that, we've got Woe, and I believe it's Nuisance fighting around a different angle. So it's essentially a 2v1 and a 1v1 in different parts of Zarky at the time. Dexy seems to be aware that Lazarus is going to regroup. Keep in mind, Fozu might be able to step up, feed a little bit more information. So he's in a very dangerous spot at the time. Dexy's trying to get to a little bit more cover, and I think that Felix might be aware of where he's at. Sub-Zero's on that back angle. Dexy's still on the hunt, looking around. Oh, he's going to spot out Sub-Zero there, I believe. But Felix actually spots him out as well. Here comes the push from Sub-Zero. It's going to be right along the wall, and you can tell Dexy realizes he could be in some trouble. Smoke's going to go down and actually protect the push over there from Sub-Zero. Plume's going to come out. There you go. There's the pop off to the side.
Hold on a second. Let's just pause for a second. The battle for Zarky's concluded. Lazarus is the winner. Yeah, okay, we'll never say that ever again.
Well, there you go. I mean, it essentially was the battle for 16th and 15th place, right? So Lazarus picking up 4 points. That's going to be enough to let them jump GG Well Played and not finish in last. So good guy, GG Well Played, battling it out there in Zarky. Is C9 going to take some withering fire from E United?
Still driving around. We had a whole fight over in Zarky while Cloud9 was still looking for where they wanted to go.
And that's, wow, I cannot believe we just had a Zarky early game fight of all places. GG Well Played, I suppose.
That's
but
4 points off the board.
Indeed. Well, listen, they needed it. One team was going to come out on top there, and that's the way she goes. They're way out in the blue. They have a long way to travel. But for C9, I think it's been you have to wonder, we talked about this before the game started, Matt, is Cloud9 at a position now where they can play this with confidence, or are they going to be more conservative through this game number 4?
I think Cloud9's just going to play Cloud9 style of things. Like, haven't changed up anything as of yet. They're still pushing very early, trying to get into their positions. Neither Tempo Storm nor Cloud9 necessarily want to change anything that is working for them at the time. But the question comes into play, the other teams like E United, these guys are definitely needing a confidence boost, and this could be it for them. So they might kind of change up their strategies a little bit and maybe be something that Tempo Storm and Cloud9 aren't expecting.
As you said, E United sitting with 25 points, Tempo Storm with 36, so E United needs a few more kills to go along with a high placement here if they want to have a shot at this first place prize.
This early zone is basically shaping up like we've seen so many game number ones. Everyone crashes middle, tries to find a decent compound. Shoot to Kill going for a 2-2 split. They're on the back half of the leaderboard. They need a big game as well. But Shoot to Kill is so well known for taking that position. Maluk already under fire, and he's going to go down. That is going to be a big loss for Tempo Storm, who's dismounting their vehicles and potentially committing to a fight with THC.
Yeah, I was going to say, this might not necessarily be a team you want to down as of yet. Dre takes a lot of damage. These guys will stop and fight, and it's the Happy Campers that actually chose to do so. So they're running up, just trying to get that point and secure it back. But look, Tempo Storm's playing an off angle over there. Already got the down onto Charity. Adam's running back down the hillside. Sharky might have an angle back over onto this, but you can see Zampa, your boy Dre, on the hunt. There's already another down coming out from the Happy Campers. They're trying to figure out how they play damage control at this point. They've kind of, we talk about it. You don't take shots at Tempo Storm. They will just stop dead and come after you.
Happy Campers a little bit too close together right now. They had a flanker, but he was picked out in spray. So Adam now having to go back and try to gain a little bit of a position here. Is Zampa just going to throw out all his utility? You got to wonder, hopefully, that maybe Tempo thinking that if they can finish this fight off, they can maybe get some utility off of these downs. But Lefi is now the only one alive here with Adam.
So now they're trying to regroup, get a little bit closer. They've already signed off Charity, saying, sorry, buddy, there's nothing we can do. We're just going to try to go for position on this. They're trying to be a little bit more sneaky with it. But Tempo Storm, not necessarily in the same vein. They have a little bit of charge coming out for them as they're starting to move forward. They spot out Adam, and that was an instant drop. Now Lefi in a lot of trouble.
This is a lopsided fight. I think that THC bit off a little bit more than they can chew right now. Adam getting picked off, and Lefi's just got to bail. They got Maluk down, but this is the heavy cost you pay for fighting with Tempo Storm.
And we talk about it sometimes. Whenever you take out somebody like Maluk, it's not actually the worst thing, because now Maluk can kind of sit around, feed information from every single team member's perspective to other teammates.
Their utility usage tempo is so good. I mean, they're going to finish off Adam, but you saw just there how they flashed over for that flush. They take no risks in just assuming that that there's anyone left alive that's willing to fight, and they play it super, super well.
It also comes down to knowing how teams play. The Happy Campers, they live up to their name. They like to camp. They don't necessarily like these run-and-gun style fights. Tempo Storm loves it. They're aware, okay, there's one of them left. I'm willing to bet he's running, trying to get into safety. So now they're just on the hunt for them.
There goes Sonics.
There we go.
Sonics is out here. Is Lefi going to try to stay alive for a little bit longer? He's got a little bit of utility he can use here. He's got a couple of grenades. Tempo is just on the hunt right now. Can he get the down? Yes, he can.
Lefi gets that necessary down onto Zampa, but again, it's going to be your boy Dre and Sharky trying to hit the angles back over onto this. Can he get another down off of it? The Happy Campers need to get themselves some more points, but let's be honest, this is some of the most dangerous points you could possibly have looking your direction right now. Trying to make it back over there for the res. This could be very, very risky. It's going to be just a touch short. Your boy Dre playing around it perfectly, protecting Sharky so that way he can get the res back onto Zampa since he was bleeding out so quickly. A little bit of damage now coming onto your boy Dre, but he's just going to drop down perfectly as the res comes off. Lefi, how are you going to play this angle? He's going to get spotted out, taking a lot of damage, looking back up that hill, but it's going to be Tempo Storm mopping that one up.
Perfectly played. Even though Tempo was on the back foot, they got surprised. Zampa went down. The immediate smoke on the down teammate. Dre goes into defensive mode, prevents any easy flush. That is such a high-level play. I love Tempo Storm style.
That was so well played by Dre, allowing, not getting too greedy, not trying to get into a peak battle with the guy that had to treat cover. He just took the shots, went prone, didn't allow Lefi to get involved any more than he needed to. So Tempo now still 3 strong, have 4 kills to their name, and it's not looking good for the rest of this lobby.
I'm kind of curious on how Cloud9's going to respond to this. They can see the kills going over. They know that those went over to Tempo Storm. Is that going to rattle them? Is that going to force them to play a little bit more aggressive than they're wanting to? Because right now they're playing edge.
Yeah, there's edge strategy for Cloud9. I guess just showing how they want to play this, which is going to be conservative. Tempo Storm, they've taken their licks. They're going to have to respond now. maybe regroup, find some new helmets, find some new vests, do anything to just make it so that they can go full strength 3 into the next phase.
Look at this separation we're seeing with E United right now. They're playing so many different angles off of this. They're trying to get control over this area of the map, starting to try to regroup a little bit. We talk about the danger and the risk that comes into play with it. You have to make sure you regroup. New circle pops. That's going to force them to pick up and instantly rotate away.
You can see now the circle shifts all the way to around that lake area. Yasnaya is probably going to start to fill up as well, as Endemic likely going to want to hold on to one of the edges of the city. And they're being harassed already in rotation as they crash. Looks like they're going to go for the yellows as his crew. This is now setting up potentially a clash in the center of the zone. Overconfidence going to have to come in on the edge.
We still got Overconfident on this far eastern side. They're not really getting any pressure right now. They have a lot of positions that they can work with in this new circle, but meanwhile they have to be careful because Cloud9 rotating just behind them from the south. United is going to make their way in and find a nice little home inside the circle here.
Really, it's all back down towards the south right now. Tempo Storm starting to run and gun, make a long rotation. They're going to come across where Ghost is at. Ghost is still being patient, trying to catch a couple of people in rotation. So with this, Endemic actually trying to defend this against Player One Esports. The grenade's going to go out. That was a nice bounce around. Is it going to do any damage? It's just everybody storming through here, but something got some necessary downs off of this. But at the same time, Mini Fridge Jr. got knocked. Really, it's just Crispier on the outside of that, and look at the third-party shots coming from every single angle right now.
This is important for Crispier just to try and stay alive. All of a sudden, the fields of Yasnaya are alight with fire. Crispier is having to duck, but now it's going to be the res coming out for David, just trying to get out Aguila up. Lampalot stuck on the outside. He's waiting for his turn to be res, but it's not going to come. That nade lands a little close and takes him down.
Gonna get at least the flush onto that, but he really wanted it to go through that window. He wanted to get those downs. That was his last grenade. So now he's just trapped out here and trying to get the spray into it, and he manages to get it onto Aguila, but he's still getting shot in the back from shoot to kill. How is he gonna play this? He's got to play it as aggressive as possible, but nope, that's just gonna be a nice shot coming out from David to take him down.
That was Endemic. That was right on the cusp on the money side with 15 points. They pick up 1 kill there, but I don't know if that's going to be enough going forward. We're going to have to see what the rest of these squads do.
All right, E United looks like they spotted somebody in rotation, and it's going to be Ghost Gaming back down that hillside. We've seen them being a lot more alive, not afraid to run into any form in fights. So with this, they just got themselves a new toy. There was a crate that landed right next to them. So Frolicker looks like he might be the point man coming up on this. They're trying to get a little bit more defensive, but E United just doesn't want to make that push yet.
E United has to make this push. I mean, well, they don't have to. It's a very difficult push, but they have to be aware that Ghost is there, and anything they can get going, if they send a flanker out, try and land a nade. Ghost likes to play together in these situations, and there it is. It's the fishing with dynamite. Pistola time tries to bounce one close by, but that's going to be information for Ghost. They know someone is close enough for nade range. They're going to spread out and go defensive.
But Taylor J, look, a long rotation around on this. They want to get this flank. The third party is starting to become a little bit of a factor because Vicious Gaming is trying to just pepper the hillside over here next to him, but Taylor J slowly making his way just a touch closer. He only has 1 grenade to play with. New circle is going to pop. Is it going to force them to move?
Oh
really,
God.
It's just E United, but a ton of Yasnaya inside there, so Ghost having to figure out how they're going to rotate around this, but are we about to see a Yasnaya crash?
You know what, that's the big trap, is that if you get stuck in Yasnaya with those fields after the next circle shift, the yellows are in contention. Overconfidence making a mad dash to try and grab that very important compound. They're going to make it there before Tempo, but now they're being spotted. E United spraying at Ghost in transition, trying to pick up anything. Ghost goes 1 down, Frolicker.
Now you can see McCoy taking a little bit of damage as well. Balak's just trying to run around the outside of this, so a little bit of loot going to go over towards E United. Ghost gets the first run through, but there's not a lot of places for them to safely go. Keep in mind, this is the Yasnaya Fields. This is all flat. 1 hit point, narrowly make mine. Oh, Sharky! Sharky's like, hey, thanks for delivering some points to me, man.
And this is now 5 kills for Tempo. The rich just keep getting richer here. And, you know, Cloud9, Overconfident, E United, they have to be watching this kill feed, and they have to start adjusting accordingly if they want to have a shot here.
Balak, how are you going to play this? This is a little bit risky. He's the last member. Shots are starting to connect. They know exactly where he's at. 1 hit point, narrowly makes it back around that rock, and now Drassel, it's your time to crawl through, but I don't think it's going to work out for you, man.
Ghost is in a rough position here. Drassel's going to try and sneak his way across. Sharky's going wide on the flank to try and clean anything up. He can spot just the feet, but he can't land anything with that Mini 14. He's trying his best. Tempo very nearly got a second team wipe out of that.
But look at this. Overconfident is in the yellows just off to the east. They're not really getting involved in this. They have to realize who that is, what that means that Tempo is out here getting these kills. You have to push this. You have to play a little bit more aggressively if you want to win.
Tempo Storm doesn't necessarily need to move as of yet, but I totally agree with you with Overconfident. Ghost, though, does have to move. They're not inside the safe zone as of yet. Sure, they managed to get the res off. They've got the smokes down, but they don't have anywhere they can easily go to. The vehicles are already just spotted out. Tires are already destroyed on it. They're either going to have to smoke or just jump in a vehicle with no tires and try to run through this.
United hopes they run their direction, but that's going to be Simplicity going down in 12th place. Uncivil picking himself up a kill, but Sharky still watching. He can see the smoke line down. He's waiting for any movement. There he sees Balak, just starts to spam, hoping for anything. Drassel, he's been taken so low. He's taken so much damage, but Overconfident, I don't think they press on this because they're in 3rd place.
Taylor J, though, he will press up on this. He hears the shots, knows that this is probably where Ghost rotated to, very aware of the fact that they might have the numbers. The grenade's going to come through and do a lot of damage over towards Drassel, but now he's going to step up, get down. Beautiful flank position coming out from Taylor J. Now how are we going to see a reaction? Balak's just trying to hit a little bit damage back over towards Taylor J. The rest of United not quite in position for it.
Ghost not the easy kills that United thought they would be, as Balak lands a great nade on Taylor J. United is going to have to come out of their compound and devote a lot more resources to this than they originally thought they would.
Balak is just throwing grenades, being like, please at least give me this point. I at least want to try to get a little bit more out of it. Dill Hero slowly creeping back up onto this, trying to figure out if he should go for the kill. Looks like he's just going to throw out the nade. That might be good range onto it. Balak already getting a feel that something could be going wrong. He's going to run away. The grenade's going to bounce over there next to him. Could do a little bit of damage, and yeah, he's just going to have to keep crawling his way through this little mini red zone slowly and steadily.
Tempo Storm actually stole the kill. That was Drassel. That was another point going to Tempo Storm, and now they have their eyes on Overconfident. They do have some terrain to work with, but this is a Yasnaya field ending. Zampa has shaded toward the north. He's got his apartment. Now you have to wonder, does Tempo rejoin Zampa, or do they stay in the field?
Balak. Yeah, I feel bad for Balak at this point. He's just like, okay, here comes all of United, probably walking up this hill at any given second.
Well, I mean, just look how aggressive Tempo is playing. I mean, they're literally on the road right now. Meanwhile, you've got the entire 4-man squad of Overconfident just sitting here, hearing all this go on. Not a single shot has been fired from that compound.
Balak starting to hear the footsteps, sees them jumping around, trying to get information. Pistol time. Dill Hero spotted him out as they bounce around, so that's going to be Ghost going out in 11th place.
Looking good for Tempo. Now they just have to try and figure out what they want to do. Zampa was in his vehicle. There's a bit of a ridge you can see here that they're working with, but Cloud9 is in precarious position. They're in the northern side, but I don't know how many kills Cloud9's managed to get right now. They're looking at only placement points, and they haven't even made that yet. Still 10 teams alive.
Tempo Storm seems like they're playing for positioning as well. You can see Zampa's way up to the north, just in case the circle goes that direction, so they can still play around this. Dash, VG, he's just trying to run through this. He's got to make his way over towards some hay bales. Looks like United starting to realize they might have to do the same.
All right, now Overconfidence finally started to pay attention to United. They're going to send some shots down that way. They do have a great position in this next circle for right now, but now Sharky going to send those shots over towards United as well. I think Cloud9 is just looking to maybe feed off of anything that pushes out of Yasnaya once the circle shifts.
So with this United doing a rotation, keep in mind they're going to be running right over here next to Overconfident and Tempo Storm. A lot of damage already coming out. They're outside and in the blue, so now they're going to start cresting through. Keep in mind, they know that Tempo Storm's over here. They've been being shot from this angle, but Sharky is just waiting for them. Now going to get the shots onto one. That's already two down, and that was absolutely beautiful from Sharky. He does go down inside of that, but Tempo Storm racks up some more kills, pushing them up to 10 already.
Wow, Tempo Storm just eviscerates United. They had nowhere to go, and that is almost, I mean, a complete wipe for Sharky. He almost soloed that squad. Tempo Storm is on fire.
Overconfident has to be kicking themselves right now. They know exactly what just happened. They had that wide open shot on United. They got him very, very low, and they basically just handed him over to Tempo.
I think that Overconfident is perfectly fine where they're at now that they've realized that Tempo Storm is right over there hunting for kills, and they're like, I don't want to leave. It's kind of scary here.
Cloud9 has done nothing with this information. They're like, Tempo Storm's getting kill after kill. They're in Yasnaya, but now they have something set up with Lazarus.
Flank back behind this coming from Profi. You can see playing multiple angles here. Felix is taking a little bit of damage. Talked about it a second ago. Cloud9 on the hunt for kills. Profi steps up, get himself a nice down onto that. Grenade's going to come through. A little bit of damage dealt to his teammate there, but K-Mine manages to get a lot out of it. So with this, K-Mine's got the angle for it. Now Felix taking a lot of damage on that other side. Cloud9, they should be able to easily res Profi over here. I don't think it's too big of a problem, but it's going to allow the Lazarus members to try to retreat.
Yeah, Felix and Fozu just, or Sub-Zero bailing out of this fight, trying to get inside of the circle here. They have some apartments that they can hide in for right now as the lone remaining 2 members of Lazarus. Looks like the res is going to go off onto C9, but Crew now also playing from the Yasnaya, the apartments on the western side, have to find somewhere where they can go in.
I mean, the circle's starting to collapse down right now. They're still playing around this outside position. There's not a lot of places that they can go to, but Lazarus already getting shot from Cloud9. They've already taken up that apartment complex just inside the circle. Is Cloud9, do you think they're going to go for that?
I mean, at this stage, Cloud9 is going to get forced out of basically all of Yasnaya. Lazarus has taken what little real estate is left in the city, and Cloud9 having picked up a couple of kills, but it's not going to be enough for them, and this is now precarious once again because Tempo Storm is going to be waiting, watching to see who comes out of Yasnaya next.
I mean, Cloud9 is going to be reading this kill feed. They have to have an idea that Tempo Storm is racking up a ton of kills.
Sharky's down.
I like this positioning coming out from Rift, kind of surveying everything around him, very aware that there should be a lot of people hiding out inside of those fields.
See C9 taking some long-range shots here. Crew is trying to make their way out of Yasnaya. As we said, they had a long way to go, and a very interesting decision by them to run on foot across these wide-open Yasnaya fields. But P1 Esports is right at the sniper tower, and they're getting pushed on by Shoot to Kill.
So with this, you can see Shoot to Kill getting a couple of downs inside of that, but Aguila crawling right up next to Purdy. Adam looks like he might be trying to go for the res. Aguila missed the reposition, so he's just going to play around the outside of the smoke. Is he going to spot out Adam at this time? Lada's on another angle for this. I think Aguila's starting to realize he could be in a bad spot. Shoot to Kill, though, they're playing off this angle. Aguila finally spots out Incivils, gets the down onto it, and man, they spin on him, but that unlocks Lada. He now moves forward, gets the down onto Alo. Purdy, Adam trying to retaliate back over onto it, but way off in the distance. Wow. Cloud9's taking the shots back over towards Crew. A lot of damage. His back is just running through the smokes, running through those slight little hills, trying to make it right up next to Shoot to Kill, get into their face. Uncivil's crawling around, trying to see if he can get any information over towards his teammates. Purdy goes down in the exchange as well. So now it's just Adam from Shoot to Kill, the last member alive around this, and actually, no, going to get eliminated by Crew.
Wow, Cloud9 was just in a position there to try and clean up as many kills as possible. I think they only got one. I think Cloud9 has just been a little bit too passive this game. They still have Lazarus next to them, and this next shrink is about to happen. You can see Lazarus surveying the open field. Tempo Storm has just been chilling. They're like, we got 10 kills, we got good placement. Let's see how it goes. And there comes the shrink, and we are going to be probably headed right out into this field. And there it is. Tempo Storm gets the advantage. They keep their ridge. Overconfident has 4. If anyone's going to make a play for Tempo now, it has to be Overconfident. They need to take as many kills as possible.
I mean, Zampa's holding down that position so that way anybody that comes out of Yasnaya, he can just get that perfect lineup onto him. Cloud9 still has 4 members strong, but they've got Lazarus right over here next to him. There's a ton of people over in the fields, but this is just going to be a crawl fest coming out from them. Cloud9 hears the footsteps, but is just trying to figure out exactly where these enemies are at.
They don't want to wait too long on this fight, though, either. They want to make sure they try to finish this off and get into circle, because you have to know that somebody's going to be gatekeeping you from somewhere as you try to make your way out of these apartments. As you can see, 2 already going to leave, trying to make their way in.
Keep in mind, our top 3 teams are still in this at the time. Tempo Storm in first with 36 points. Cloud9 with 28 in second, and Overconfident with 26 in third, back behind it. A lot of damage starting to come out. Lazarus goes for a peek and takes a lot of damage onto this. Starting to get a little bit more information. Looks like he did spot out Lobes. Lobes spinning back around onto this, trying to get into this fight. K-Mine's off on a different angle for it. Lobes is all by himself.
Sharky got downed again. Dre's been just playing medic duty for him right now, as Nerf is trying to just defend. They lost one. Profi got flushed. Sub-Zero will go down to Lobes, but Cloud9 is going to have Tempo Storm looking their direction very shortly.
A lot of damage now come back over towards Cloud9. They don't necessarily want to leave the cover points that they're playing around, just trying to get that last little point. K-Mine takes the flush for that, and there you go. That's going to be Lazarus getting eliminated. That pushes them up to 5 kills, but a lot of damage. Look at K-Mine trying to figure out how he's going to respond to this. Overconfident, still just playing around the circle. They have to be so cautious. It's Tempo Storm might have an angle back over where Trevor just landed at.
Overconfident, only 1 kill so far. They're trying their best to try to dictate what's coming out of this, but the shots just aren't there. They don't have an angle onto Tempo right now. About the best they can do is try to prevent Waldo from trying to make his way in. That's going to be a Nerf picking up another kill for C9.
Keep in mind, Crew right there is presently in 6th place. They have 16 points. Right over there next to him is Vicious Gaming. They're in 5th at the direct time. So really all of our leaders trying to vie for some form of spot at the spot in the circle.
A risky res. I think they did spot K-Mine going in for it. They're going to have to pray that nothing finds pay dirt in this smoke. It's Tempo Storm looking for even more kills. They haven't picked one up since they finished their last fight, but Tempo Storm getting aggro and overconfident now.
We have seen how Tempo Storm loves to take control over these circles. Grenades are starting to come back over next to Overconfident. Zampa's going off on a different angle, so with that, there's going to be a down. Shrimzy's off way in the distance. Stab back over there as well. Tempo Storm still just trying to control this hill. It's so dangerous, but if they can manage to just weather this storm, keep Overconfident from pushing down over there next to him, they could have a great position to play from.
Right now, C9 is having to resort to just lying prone to stay alive right now. By doing that, they're not going to be able to pick up any more kills. Actually, you see Nerf picking up on Rift right there, but Dre is going to get the down on K-Mine immediately. So VG also kind of performing as a fourth party into all of this as we go on.
Nerf, he's just kind of hunkered back over here trying to get K-Mine back up. You can hear all the bullets that were just tearing into that blown up Jeep right up in front of him. But off in the distance, you can see Dash has gone down. Overconfidence kind of caught between two different angles. Your boy Dre hitting a great shot back over towards Lobes. They don't want to leave their position quite yet, as it gets a little bit risky depending on how anybody rotates next to them.
Cloud9 is running out of low ground position. They're going to have to crest this little ridge. It's not looking good. Tempo Storm is waiting to pick up another 3 kills.
So with this, they're going to have to start their movement forward. Lobes was their information guy, but beautiful connection coming out from your boy Dre. They want every bit of points from this. K-Mine's trying to run forward. He gets taken down as well. Tempo Storm starting to get in complete control of this game with 12 kills. Now it's just Overconfident and Vicious Gaming, and Vicious Gaming actually pushing right up into the back of Stab.
What an absolutely huge game for Tempo Storm. Your boy Dre with 7 kills so far. Sharky with another 5. They have just taken this thing with a death grip.
Shrimzy right back behind this hay bale. Tempo Storm moving around outside of him. He's got to be a little bit nervous. His friends are slowly getting killed all around him. Stab, he knows is in trouble. He's got a fight going off on that other angle, so he knows he is all by himself inside of this position. Shiru's trying to get the res, but Sharky's not going to let it happen. Shiru's just making a run out inside the blue, spraying into the smoke, seeing if he can get anything. He's just going to get taken down there. Sharky's going to follow through with it, so now it's just on to Shrimzy, slowly making his way forward off of it. Keep in mind, the circle is condensing down to that center point. Tempo Storm already has so much control. It's all on to Shrimzy. Keep in mind, they are in 3rd place. If somehow he can get some kills off of this, it could be big. Maybe move them up a couple of spots. Tempo Storm still playing off of this angle. Looks like your boy Dre might have an idea for it. And there you go. Shrimzy gets the down and a flush onto 1. Gets back behind the hay bale. So now the 3v1 turns into the 2v1, but he has taken a lot of damage trying to get the spray, and that was so close coming up from Shrimzy. It's got to watch both sides. He's expecting somebody to be pushing on this other angle. That's the downside of his position. Everybody from Tempo Storm's just trying to get closer and closer towards the center. Shrimzy's got some great aim, but can't necessarily get the necessary down. So now he realizes he is in a lot of trouble. Just a Hail Mary grenade. Maybe that can come up for him. It's going to roll down the other side. Here's the blue coming in. Not a lot that he can do with this.
Shrimzy,
he's just going to feed the points back over to the blue instead. And so Tempo Storm with 14 kills are going to get that one.
I mean, what can you say that has not already been said about Tempo Storm? They took this thing with an absolute death grip from the very beginning. From the time the play dropped to the time the last kill came through, it was never in doubt.
I'm not sure why Shrimzy didn't go. I think he was waiting for Sharky to appear on his left side, but couldn't get the med off. He goes down to the blue. He denies a point, but doesn't matter. 14 kills for Tempo Storm and the victory. They had a 26-point game in game number 3. They had a 24-point in game number 4. Tempo Storm is feeling great right now.
So with this, keep in mind, Overconfident, they were in 3rd place. They only got themselves 3 kills. They got the placements for 2nd. That's great. Vicious Gaming, they were in 5th. They come in 3rd with 3 kills of their own. Cloud9 was in 2nd. They managed to get themselves 6 kills, but really, it's going to be really hard to close in that gap.
Well, I mean, I think we can see now how good Tempo is. If we didn't already know that from the NPL season so far, but look at the way this has set itself up. We've had some criticisms of a best of 4 matchroom, but we're seeing a lot of these teams from the NPL season winning best of 4s.
Exactly. I mean, you talk about how short form tournaments are, you know, they are what they are, but you can still be consistent. I mean, if you adapt your play style to a way that makes it successful in these short form tournaments, as Tempo has, I mean, you can see how productive it can be.
I mean, they're in first place inside the NPL. They're feeling really good about it. You can tell everybody's like, okay, we pretty much know Tempo Storm. They're in a pretty good spot right now.
Tempo has got to be feeling just elated right now. They had a great time in NPL so far. They've had this now. A big bonus for them at the midseason. If they weren't already confident, they've got to be feeling it now.
And let's not take anything away from Cloud9 as well. They were playing so well inside that. They just kept getting in these little fights all around the Yasnaya area. They have been absolutely on fire today as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe overconfident going back to that last game, maybe kicking themselves a little bit, maybe not getting as aggressive as they could be, knowing what was going down. You have to be watching that kill feed. You have to be aware of what Tempo's doing. But overconfident Cloud9, not really playing as aggressive as they should be. Tempo Storm doing exactly what they needed to do to secure this win.
I just love Tempo Storm's playstyle. They'll be driving around. That's how this whole thing started, with this massive amount of kills they got. Keep in mind, Zampa and Maluk actually have no kills inside of it. It's your boy Dre and Sharky with 7 apiece.
Yeah, they were doing so well. So there it is. It's the match 4 rankings. You can see Tempo Storm, 24 points, 13 more than the second place Cloud9, who had a good effort, but I think they needed to go a little bit aggressive in the earlier game. Regardless, it was a consistent effort from Cloud9 all the way through. Shoot to kill, picking up a decent third place, but just not their best of 4.
Off of 8 kills. They went out early, but they were murdering the world until they went out.
Now, Shoot to kill was definitely coming out there trying to frag. Unfortunately, we're not able to get the placement points that they would have hoped to get. But I mean, you can't stop talking about the performance of Tempo.
This is match 4 points, guys. Just to remind everybody, this is not our overall leaderboard. That's just match 4. But
here we go.
Here we go. Our overall.
Look at Lazarus jumping up to 13th. Thank you, base GG well played, for our Yasnaya scrapping early on.
Space Station Gaming holding down that 11th place spot. Back behind that, Ghost Gaming 12th, Lazarus, Sonics, the Happy Campers, and GG well played. But really, I kind of want to see what's on this next page.
Absolutely. Looking at the way this is set up, it's Endemic coming 10th place. And this is going to be Vicious Gaming and Shoot to Kill in the money. Not the high money, but money nonetheless. Vicious Gaming picking up a nice mid-season bonus. Shoot to Kill there as well.
So now, who are our top 4 teams? That is the question that everybody is just waiting for, and here we are.
It's Tempo Storm taking it with 60 total points. A dominating victory. Cloud9 in second place. But wow, Tempo Storm completely crushes the competition. Not even close.
They now have a friend. They have a new friend for their former giant novelty-sized check. Now they have 2 giant novelty-sized checks that they can constantly bait the rest of the league with by letting them know how they're doing in their nice team house.
I love how anytime the camera passes over Tempo Storm, they're always like super serious, but then you go check them out on social media and they're like essentially taking their checks for walks and stuff like that just to throw it in other teams' faces.
It's been a tremendous run for Tempo Storm so far in NPL. Obviously, we've been talking about them all day because it has just been domination. Unquestionable performance.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you're talking between short form based style tournaments and long form based tournaments. Tempo Storm at the top of both. I don't think there's any question now that Tempo Storm is the best team in North America.
Well, Cloud9 still vying for it. They're in that second place spot. They keep trying to go for it, but I just want to see a little bit more aggression from them.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cloud9 is very, very close. They are arguably up there in the top 3, obviously. But, I mean, by far and away, Tempo is just blowing everybody out of the water at every opportunity they get.
I mean, they're so strong, without a doubt. I mean, they're the force to be reckoned with inside of the NPL right now, and I would have to say probably on an international stage as well.
Absolutely.
Well, we've done enough adulation of Tempo Storm today. We'll let the boys speak for themselves. It's been a fun time at the NPL Royale. Rachel, take it away.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for the incredible job our casters and analysts have done all weekend. But I got to give full credit to Tempo Storm right here for coming in and cleaning up all 3 days of this event. You guys are going home with our first place prize of $40,000. And you had to fight out that last match on the open field south of Yasnaya. What did you think when you saw that circle, Dre?
It was pretty shaky. We got fucking...
Just keep going.
Almost got screwed by THC, but we managed to pick the fight up. And we turned it around. We got to get rotate to the east, and we won. So
Yeah, you guys got everything you wanted here. I want to go down the line. You guys have been interacting with your fans all week. It's been great. We love watching you all throughout the MPL season. But now's your time to address them. So starting right down on the end, what do you want to say to all your fans, everyone watching at home, and everyone sending you guys lots of love?
From me?
Yeah.
I mean, we just really appreciate all the support. You know, we go out every day. We try to win every game we can. And, you know, we really appreciate you guys rooting for us in Twitch chat, at home, everything. Thank you.
Shout out to Tempo Storm. Without them, I wouldn't be here being able to play with this team and doing amazing things like how this team's supposed to be. And yeah, shout out to Tempo Storm.
It's always great. We took the win with Sharky, our newest addition. Feels really great. 2 back-to-back LAN wins. And shout out to my mom and dad for still supporting me. It's great.
Shout out mom and dad.
Shout out to all my friends and family watching at home, and shout out for Tempo Storm for making this possible.
All right, well, I got just one last question for you guys. $40,000, that's a cool bonus in the middle of this season. Lots of money here. How are you gonna spend it?
I'm just gonna save it. I'm not gonna spend it.
So proud. Anyone else want to volunteer some spending?
Food.
Lou?
Lou? Diet Coke?
I'm just going to wait till we put the 100K on top of it, and then maybe I'll buy something.
Ooh.
Aw, beauty.
I'm saving it. I'm investing.
Well played, gentlemen. Well, congratulations once again. Thank you so much. And thank you to all our competitors for doing a wonderful job at the NPL Royale. We'll see you right back on schedule Friday at 2 p.m. at 5 p.m. for more games coming to you from the OGN Super Arena. Until next time, bye.
Nothing in my way will make me be afraid.